talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I never talk to them boys that sat on them benches. I was in the game on 4th inches.
Now it's time to go to work.
All right, man. What is going on for the state family, Seminole Nation, in the 863 tribe? The bar is officially open. Oh, let me fix my hat. There you go. Gotta have a flag in the front. There we go. Flags in the front. The bar's open. Let's get it cracking, y'all. What is going on? Hey, sound muffled. Let's see. Fix the sound a little bit. It surely is. I'm gonna mute myself and fix it. Hold on. Should be better. Should be better. Thumbs up. Sounds better on my end. I was definitely on the wrong mic setting before, so I think we better, man. Yeah, okay, good. I think we're good. Ben says we good. All right, so let's start. Rewind, put it in reverse. What is going on for the state family, Seminole Nation, and the 863 tribe? The mic. Now y'all got me messed up. Well, now the mic got me messed up. The bar is open. The hat is straight. The weekend started Thursday when Daniel surprised us, but here we are, Makai Danzy. The other big get we got. Florida State has moved into essentially the top 10, another top 10, back in the top 10, though depends on what website you're looking at, because On3 has us, I think, at number 8. 247 Composite has us at 11 because Alabama got a tight end today that bumped them into the top 10 and bumped up us one spot out. Either way, bro, we're finishing July strong. We got one major recruitment left. We didn't get Levy, so apparently the rumors about Levy essentially not being a take, I guess they were true. He chose Rutgers of all places, so that's very interesting. Louisville thought they had him in the bag, from what I was hearing. Louisville thought very strong about Levy and that they had him in the bag, and he chose Rutgers of all places. So to me, it definitely looks like Florida State dropped interest. I usually don't, I don't like to do that. Sometimes you miss on guys, sometimes you get guys, but anytime you go from being a Florida State lean to then committing to Rutgers, to me that looks like Florida State decided to tell you that you're not quite a take yet. And that probably has to do with the fact that you got Ricky Knight, you've got Red Morgan already, and you probably want to take some big fish safeties at this point. And we all know that guy in Georgia that they're looking at. I don't know, man. We'll see if we'll get him. We'll see if we can pull that one. But we'll see. So tonight is open bar. We're going to do something a little different. I'm going to put a link in the chat, and I am going to allow people to come up here, say what they got to say what they want to say, but you won't get a lot of time. I'm not giving like 10 minutes. You get 2 to 3 minutes, 5 minutes if you're making a good conversation. We'll go that route. Basically, ask a question, state a topic. I'll respond to it in any way I see fit. So we're going to try that. A little bit of open bar. It's going to be the theme of open bar going forward. I'll drop a link in the chat, give everybody a chance to come on here and do that thing. And because I'm going to do that, disclaimer, I'm not going to quite pay attention to the comments as much as I usually do. Usually I read damn near every comment y'all post. So if it's not a super chat, I probably won't pay too much attention to it, because you have an option to actually get on the mic tonight and voice your opinions. You don't have to show your face. I'm just asking you to get on the mic, show your opinion, share your opinions, your thoughts. So I probably won't. Well, I'll read the comments to myself. I won't read the comments out loud like I usually do. So, because I'm giving y'all this option. So that's going to be the theme of this Saturday night going forward until obviously the season starts. And then we'll do our typical, when the season starts, Saturday nights are going to be all about instant reaction to the game. So y'all already know how Saturday nights go on 863 Cinema TV. So we'll give it a try and see how this works out. But before I post the link, I will read the comments we have so far. So shout out to everybody in the chat, man. I want to do a quick roll call, man. Let's get it started. As always, we all already know the deal. Pay the bills, knock on the door, ring the doorbell. Oh, and by the way, hit the like button. That is how you do all of that. Hit the like button, right? So we have 35 people in the chat, which means I should see 35 likes. Ben Callahan, Island Boy, Tyler Hedden, Tyrone Oliver, Abel, William, Chris, a.k.a. Sporadics Media, is in the building. John Shields, our resident Kane fan, is here. Claudio, all the way from the Dominican Republic. Shout out to Claudio. FSU Tony with the fire emojis. July's hot, baby. July's hot. William says, hold on. William says, I hate that we didn't get Levy today because we really can't depend on those big. I agree. I'll talk a little bit about Levy before we open the floor. I agree though. I think Levy should have been. I said it. I do live stream Thursday night, right? It was Thursday night. I said the same thing. I said, in my opinion, while I don't think the secondary is in need of an overhaul like the offensive line was a couple years ago, I would take the guy. I would take him. I would take Levy. I would take all the guys. Let the numbers figure themselves out. Let the guys who really want to be here. And if the rumors are true that we indeed told Levy no, I don't know if those are true. Those are rumors. I can't. Y'all already know who I am. I'm like skin dude on YouTube. I don't know nothing. The rumors are Florida State told Levy no. And then he goes to Rutgers, which seems a bit odd to me, meaning that when Louisville, I think, thought they were the favorite there. So very interesting way to play out in that recruitment there. Vontae B's in the building. Ardavius in the building. Let's get it in the building. Cryptoxin. Of course, he thinks Lester. That's the resident Buffalo fan, I guess. Shout out to the Buffalo, the Colorado Buffaloes. Jay Adams, VJ, Brandon, Perry, all in the building. All right, here we go. There's your link. By all means, don't be shy. But until we get a guest, here we are. Yeah, so we didn't get Levy. Levy was a guy that I thought at one point I felt very comfortable about Levy. I think most fans felt comfortable about Levy. And it didn't quite happen. So RD in the building. So here we are. But doesn't, bro, we got the two big fishes this weekend. The two big fish this weekend that I was concerned about, right? The two big fish were Daniels, got Thursday, Danzy, we got today. We didn't get Levy. It's all good. I'm not mad. We got the two guys that I wanted, that this class, in my opinion, needed. The truth is, I've said this about the board all along. We got our first guest, and I'm gonna bring you right in here, Ben, in a second. But give me a second. But I've said this all along. That secondary board's big. Your secondary board's big, and because it's big, you think about it. You miss Levy, but you still got Patterson, teammates of JoJo and Jeremiah Smith. You still got Patterson down there, big time safety that they're trying to get. You still got guys on that board, man. They're trying to get down there. But let's bring Ben in here. Give me a minute, Ben, because I'm gonna start this timer. You got 2 minutes, Ben, to say what's on your mind, brother.
Yo, Polk, you hear me?
I hear you, Ben. What's going on with you, man?
What's up, Polk?
Good to see you.
I'm just wondering. I've been seeing a whole lot of smoke about Jeremiah Smith and KJ Bolden. Most of the time, you're pretty good about recruits. I feel like you say you just a light-skinned dude on YouTube, but I feel like sometimes you be knowing what you're talking about. So I just want to know, you think this is all smoke, or you think there's something to it?
Appreciate you, Ben, with the question. So for Jeremiah, they legit got an official visit for that. So I don't know what to take from that, to be quite honest with you. That's interesting. He legit scheduled an official visit, so you gotta think something of that. My thoughts on KJ is pretty simple. I think in August he commits to Georgia. I don't think that recruitment ends in August though, and I think this drags on to December, and Florida State does what they're supposed to do on the field. I think there's a chance. I think there's a legit chance.
I feel that.
Yeah, but Jeremiah,
I feel like.
Go ahead.
I feel like the Jeremiah Smith thing, like he's took I don't know how many officials to Florida, UF. He's been
on a couple. I think everything he's taken as of now has been unofficial.
Okay.
I think today he announced that he was taking a legit official visit to Florida State. I forget the date.
It'd be nice if there's some real stuff to that.
Yeah, the thing with Jeremiah that I appreciate, and we'll end on this one, Ben, but I appreciate you hitting me up. The thing I'll end with Jeremiah that I appreciate, he's been pretty transparent in his recruitment. He says he's going to visit all these schools because he's building relationships. He says he's committed to Ohio State, but he also said he's planning on building relationships because you never know what's going to happen in the future. And that's a smart way to approach your recruitment because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if Heartline's going to take another job somewhere. So it's good to build those relationships with Florida State, and Miami. And I think that's what he's legitimately doing. And until he decommits, I think he's Ohio State. Until something further happens, I think he's Ohio State.
Appreciate your time, Polk.
I appreciate you, man. Yes, sir. So by the way, again, y'all, hit the link in the chat. Let's put the chat. I'll continue to post the link throughout the stream. Hit the link in the chat. I'm not really reading any comments tonight because I'm putting the link in the chat. Get in here. You get 2 to 3 minutes to voice your opinion, ask a question, state an opinion, or tell me I suck. I don't know. You get 2 or 3 minutes to say what you got to say, and then I'll rebuttal or respond. And because of that, again, unless it's a super chat, I'm not paying attention to the chat that much that night. So that's what open mic. That's how it's going to be ran here going forward. But yeah, Ben asked a solid question about Jeremiah Smith, who did schedule an official visit to Florida State. Does that mean I saw some things, on social media. Y'all know how social media goes. Oh, we missed on JoJo because Jeremiah Smith is now scheduled over. I don't know if those two things correlate, but the same thing I've said about KJ Bolden going forward is the same thing I'll say about a guy like Jeremiah Smith. As long as he continues to entertain you, you have to continue recruiting him hard. Those guys are 2 5-star prospects, too good of players to not recruit to the fullest amount. They're going to continue to take visits, whether they're unofficial or official, regardless. If they're going to continue to come on campus, take visits, show interest in your program. You got to recruit them until December, whenever early signing period is, 9th or 11th or whatever it is. You got to recruit them to the end. So again, man, hit the link in the chat. Come on here. Say what you got to say. By the way, the bar is open. I'm drinking. I don't know if any of y'all have had Lil Wayne's rum. It's called what's that junk called? Bamboo or something like that. It's actually pretty good stuff, though. Usually the celebrities have trash alcohol, but Lil Wayne's rum, Bamboo or something like that, pretty good stuff. Pretty good stuff. So let's talk about Mekhi Danzy, man. Danzy is been a guy that I think most of us really Bamboo. There you go, Bamboo. But Danzy is a guy who we really wanted. You're talking about a legit speed guy. Great compliment to Cam Davis. Cam Davis is a, definitely has speed of his own, don't get me wrong, but he's a stout, stocky built, low to the ground, low center of gravity type running back. More of an all-around back, I'd argue, in Cam Davis, right? He's going to be able to run between the tackles effectively, but also has the speed for the edge if need be and things like that. Where Danzy is going to give you that track speed. Him and Singletary in the same backfield is going to be interesting to watch going forward because you got 2 guys with electric speed. It's going to be very interesting to see how Florida State utilizes Singletary, Mekhi Danzy, and Cam Davis going forward. I mean, that's good stuff to have, man. We continue to add weapons. Our offensive recruiting lacks for nothing. If there's one thing you can say, man, offensively, we're recruiting at a high clip. I don't care if McCoy and these other wide receivers decommit, whatever. That's only 2 guys. I'm speaking of Tawaski, Abrams, and McCoy. Let me take a sip. But who are the 2 receivers that may or may not stick? We'll see what goes on with that. Offensively, though, there is nothing to worry about offensively. It's defensive that we continue to just kind of wait and see, man. Hopefully we get some good defensive news August 29th or 28th. We get some good defensive news. Not August, I'm sorry, July 28th or 29th. One of those 2 dates, we get some good defensive news. With obviously Charles Lister. That would be our, obviously, not only our highest rated defensive commit. Lister, I don't know, between him and Landon Thomas, it'd be your highest rated commit, period. And obviously, I feel very good about Lister. We've been on fire with these recruiting predictions so far. I was wrong about Levy, but everybody else I've pretty much nailed. We'll see what happens with Jalewis Solomon. There's some smoke that maybe where I initially thought, that Solomon, I didn't feel too comfortable with that one. I think South Carolina was the favorite for me. Maybe Florida State's getting some ground there. He commits August 5th, I believe. I'm still not ready to fully push Jalewis Solomon out there, but I think it's definitely possible, which would be a great get. If you have a defensive backfield of Charles Lester, Jalewis Solomon, and Ricky Knight, and we'll put Morgan in there, and you still have CJ Hurd. Those are 5 legit guys, and now you can go all out for KJ Bolden because he's just icing on it. Because that's a good defense, depending on if Hurd sticks. I think Hurd is another one that you got to see. Does he stick in the class? If he does stick, there's talks of maybe him moving down to linebacker. Not so sure there. You got to remember, Surtain didn't really recruit CJ Hurd. Charles Woodson recruited, or y'all know, old DB coach Woodson recruited Hurd. So does Hurd stick? There's been some talk there, but as of right now, I think he got a solid D-back, defensive back class, and we'll wait and see if you can add a couple big fish to the pond, and KJ Bolden and Charles Lester, which I think would really solidify your class for sure. But again, man, links in the chat if anybody want to come in here and just say anything. Trying my best not to read y'all's. Well, I'm reading your comments internally, but I'm not reading them out loud because I want y'all to get on here and say what you got to say to the people. But as far as I'm concerned, man, we're doing a good job. I spoke about this a week or two ago. I think people look at Florida and they want us to be. Don't worry about what the rivals are doing, man. Florida State's recruiting at a pretty good clip right now. Understand one thing Florida State has done since Mike has been here, but you have to give him credit for. You can criticize that he hasn't finished, I think, in the top 15 since he's been here. And that's fair. That's a fair criticism. What he has been able to do is solidify his classes before the start of the season. The core of his recruiting classes have all been pretty much locked down before the start of the season, whether that's 2021, last year, and this year. You don't see a lot of decommits. You don't see a lot of flips. Now, 2021, of course, you got the Travis Hunter fiasco. Outside of that, who'd you lose? The problem is you didn't add anybody down the stretch that could have closed that class very well. Similar issue last year, even though I thought they actually closed decently. If you would have held on to Keldrick Falk, that would have been a top 15 class. If you held on to Keldrick Falk, you close with Conrad Hussey and Edwin Joseph, you close fairly strong there. But they've solidified their classes before August in most of these years. And they're doing the same thing this year. This year, we'll see. This year, we'll see if they can close down the stretch, which seems to be the problem. That seems to be the problem come August. What's up, Terrell? That seems to be the problem. So we'll see what happens, man. So we'll see what goes on there. I'll put it like this. If nobody wants to hit the link, then I guess I'll eventually start reading comments or I can just keep talking. Either way, don't matter. Again, link is in the chat. Hit it if you want to come on here. Give you 2 to 3 minutes. Say your piece, and we'll talk about it. I'm going to keep doing this until further notice, until I guess I feel like it just doesn't work. I'll tell you what, Ben, if nobody else is going to hop on, if you got anything else you want to ask or talk about, feel free, man. I don't have a problem. Don't have an issue. But that's what we got going on July. July's been a great, I think, what is this? 7 commits in the month of July we've had so far? We started off strong. Let's see. I can tell y'all. Let me make sure. So in the month of July, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. 7 commits in the month of July. So there were people who DM'd me and stuff and was like, man, they thought that the July strategy wasn't a good strategy. Remember, because Florida State has done this again since Mike has been here. The big recruiting weekend at the end of the month of June, and then they lead into the dead period in July. So they essentially, Florida State likes to be that last team you visit before the dead period starts. Well, they've got seven recruits out of that big visit, so it seems to work. I know it was quiet before then, but it seems to work. So I think the criticism probably should stop at this point in terms of whether or not that big last weekend of the month is effective, because it's been effective since Mike's been here. Offensively, again, killing it. You've got a stacked wide receiver room. Again, I think you probably lose a player or two there, but either way, you got a stacked room. Running back room, you might have the best. You definitely have the best running back class in the big three for sure. With Danzy and Cam Davis, yeah, those are the best two running backs in the state. Not even a question. You have the best quarterback in the state, arguably, between Luke and DJ Lagway. I guess whatever your preference is there, Luke has outperformed Lagway in damn near every camp they've been in together. So you can take that for what it's worth. I know Lagway was a legit 5-star at one point. I don't know if he still is. But again, you can argue Lagway and Chroma Hawk all day. You already know who we rocking with over here. So you got arguably the best quarterback out of the big three. You definitely have the best backfield out of the big three. You definitely got the best wide receiver room out of the big three. Just from a sheer number standpoint, the best tight end out of the big three. We got Daniels. We'll see if we can add some more pieces to the O-line room. We got Ardavius that just hopped in. So let's see what Ardavius talking about. Give me 1 second, Ardavius. I'm gonna start this timer. Make sure you get your proper 2 minutes. Hold on. Not gonna start it till I bring you in. Ardavius, can you hear me?
What's up, Paul? Can you hear me?
What's up, bro? How you doing?
Chilling, man. Chilling. I
Right
just
before
want to address the two elephants in the room. That's Odell and Randy Shannon. You know, man, we can't recruit a blue chip D lineman to save our lives or a linebacker.
We got Diddy Holmes. That's all we got. That's all we got.
That's all we got.
That's all we got.
And what's the other kid? Jamorian Flagg. He's all right too, I guess.
He's a 3-star though, but yeah.
We got some work to do. But offensively, they knocking it out the park. I give them that.
Yeah, they killing it. Yes.
Yeah.
So what you want to address the elephants? What's your thoughts? I mean, what's your thoughts on Odell and Randy? I mean,
I think
y'all know my thoughts.
I think changes should be made, but we need to go younger at those positions. Because, like, Florida, their linebacker coach, he's a young guy.
He's killing it, too.
Not really much experience, and he's killing it, knocking it out the park. They already got, three top linebackers committed already?
Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But, yeah, man, I think changes need to be made, and
they got a hell of a D-line class, too.
That is true. Hell of a D-line class. But, you know, recruiting is nice and all, but I just care about the wins on the field. So
I feel you.
As long as we're getting them wins. But yeah, at some point it got to change, you know.
I'm gonna talk about that, but I appreciate your Ardavius. You still you got 20 seconds unless you got something else to say.
You think we get Lester?
Yeah. Okay. I would be look out for that. If we miss Lester, look out for that video. I'm just telling you right now. I think. Yeah, I feel pretty good about that one.
All right, Pope, man. Well, it was nice talking to you, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
You too. Oh, that's the timer. Ardavius finished right on the dot. Now, let's talk about that. I mean, Ardavius brought it up, just so y'all know. It ain't me picking on Odell. Ardavius brought it up. But first, before we do that, Jeff with a $10 don't know. I see, Jeff, you just showed up. So it's open night tonight, Jeff. I'll put the link in the chat. Feel free to hit the link and come in and say your piece. I'm not reading any comments unless they are super chats. So shout out to Jeff. He did get a $10 don't know. Didn't say anything, but he gave the $10 don't know as always. So So I always appreciate Jeff, man.
Jeff.
But y'all know the deal on that, man. I've been talking about Odell for 3 years. I've been talking about Odell Higgins for 3 years since I've started YouTube. The writing was on the wall for Odell, and I got a lot of pushback when I first started talking about Odell. And now it's almost like everybody has jumped on the bandwagon. So please welcome. There's plenty of seats behind me. Jump on the bandwagon. It is what it is. The proof's in the pudding at the end of the day. A great developer of talent, but if we can't recruit that position specifically at a clip that can like, for instance, this year you're gonna lose Fabo, you're gonna lose Fisk. I think you're gonna lose Briggs. I think Malcolm Ray's a senior, so you're at least losing 4 guys. That's not to mention, does anybody in the chat really trust Joshua Farmer to not try to hit the portal again? Do y'all think that was just a one-time thing, or what was that? Because I personally don't trust Joshua Farmer. I'm not gonna lie to you. He kind of showed his colors at the end of this last transfer portal window. I don't even know where that came from. But if he's fielding offers from other schools, not saying I blame him if they're gonna drop the bag on him. Do you trust a Joshua Farmer? If Joshua Farmer has the season we think he can possibly have this year, do y'all trust him to be here next year? I necessarily don't. There's a chance you could lose 4, 5, 6 defensive tackles this year. 3 to 4 to eligibility, and another 2 to just the transfer portal. I mean, we lost Antavius Woody and Bishop Thomas like that. We were stacked at defensive tackle. Bishop Thomas and Antavius Woody, two guys with bright futures, decided to bolt. It shows you the attrition in that room. If I have to develop Joshua Farmer, like, let's be honest, Joshua Farmer redshirts year 1, so you get nothing out of him. Last year, he doesn't really come around to the end of last year. So it's honestly a 2-year development window for Joshua Farmer. Now in year 3, as a redshirt sophomore, we are expecting a leap in a big time year from him. But if I have to develop everybody for a 3-year window, what are we doing? How do I constantly pump in talent into that room? You have to recruit guys who can play day 1. You have to recruit guys that can play day 1. And I am very high on Fisk. I think Fisk is going to be dope. Fisk is a Band-Aid. He's not the solution to the problem. So, as we talk about this stuff, I've only been talking about Odell for the last 3 years. Freedfield, again, jump on the bandwagon. There's plenty of seats. Or you can hold on to hope. But it is what it is at this point. I'll do this like I do every year with Odell. I always say there's this one prospect. If he can get me this one guy, I'm cool. If he can get me the D tackle out of Mississippi, I'll shut up. I do this every year. Every year he fails me. Did it 2 years ago, I think, with Tyree West. Did it last year with the kid out of Jacksonville. I forget his name, who ended up at Georgia. Every year I give this guy a prospect and go, man, if you can land me this blue chipper, this not just an average, like not a mid-tier blue chipper, you get me this high-level defensive lineman, I'll shut up. Odell's failed me every year. So here we are again. He gets me that kid out of Mississippi who's like a top 50 player in the country, I believe, or top 75, somewhere around there. It was Jordan Hall. If you give me that guy, I will shut up. Every year he's failed me, but I will shut up if you give me that guy. So again, our interior D-line could see a major attrition after this year. And who are we bringing in? No knock on Jamori Flagg. He could be great, but he's probably in the same mold as Joshua Farmer. He's probably a 2 or 3 year development guy, which is fine, but who's going to supplement that in the meantime? Are we going to go to the transfer portal? Defensive tackle? We don't have a great resume there. Maybe Brandon Fisk would be good. Fabian Lovett was a transfer guy, but he's been here 3-4 years, so you can pretty much call him a Florida State guy. The last guy we brought out of transfer portal, Jackson, he's at Michigan State now. He transferred again. So as far as I'm concerned, while we nail the defensive end room out of the park in the portal, we don't do quite as well in the interior of the D line. I need to recruit those guys. I need to recruit those guys. Hopefully we can do that. Cam Franklin, there you guys go. Give me Cam Franklin and I'll shut the hell up. No way. So if y'all can admit that Odell can't land Cam Franklin, then I ain't got nothing else to say about that. Give me Cam Franklin and I'll shut up. That's the only blue chipper on the board. And this is not even a knock on KJ. I know KJ is a 4-star who we got last year, who could be a good player. I don't know if he's a day one guy, though. First of all, our defensive tackle room is loaded this year with the addition of 2 transfer guys in Fisk and Jackson. Lovett coming back is a big time deal. I think Daniel Lyons' production, I'm a big fan of Daniel Lyons. I'm a big fan of Tafasi. I think the guys we have are good. Again, Odell is a great developer of talent. I'm not knocking any of that. But all those guys I just mentioned, with the exception of the transfer guys, but all the homegrown guys, the Lions, the Malcolm Rays, the Briggs, all those guys had the red shirt, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with the red shirt, but I miss the days of Timmy Jernigan. I miss the days of Eddie Goldman, of Derek Nandi. I miss the days of guys coming in and just going to work. And I don't have to put 50 pounds on a 250-pound converted DN like Joshua Farmer was, and he can just get in there and start playing right away. I miss those days. I'm just saying. I miss those days. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I have unreal expectations. Is that what it is? I have unreal expectations at this point. I don't know. As far as Randy Shannon goes, bro, at least with Odell, he has a history. I think Odell and Randy Shannon are polar opposites. At least with Odell, go look at his track record. He landed the Marvin Wilsons and Timmy Jernigans, the Eddie Goldmans. Odell was coaching D-line with Corey Simon, the Darnell Dock. Odell's got a history of Niall Lawrence Stamper and Derek Noddy and DeMarcus Christmas and Jacoby McDaniel. Odell's got a fat history, bro, of premier defensive tackles. Randy Shannon has always recruited linebackers in the same mold that he continues to do it. That's his problem. Randy Shannon's always, that's why it's called the Randy special, because he's always recruited a certain type of backer regardless of the stars. I'm not saying he hasn't recruited good high rated linebackers in the past, but he's always recruited a type. So when it comes to Randy, bro, I just don't. When it comes to Randy, it is what it is on that end. I'm just glossing over y'all's comments, but I made a promise to myself. So I tell you what, we'll keep the mic open for a little bit longer. Nobody else wants to hit the mic. Then I'll start reading some of y'all's comments. I can't help myself. I've gotten used to reading y'all's comments, and y'all help drive the conversations. I'm not gonna lie. Again, this is the most interactive channel on YouTube at the end of the day, point blank period. The truth is, this is y'all's conversation. This ain't even my conversation half the time. Y'all drive the content that's on this channel. Y'all drive the content in these videos. I talk about what y'all want to talk about. Y'all are the focal point. I don't come on here and tell you a bunch of lies about I know this guy and I got this source, and I'm not knocking people that have sources. Look, at the end of the day, some people have legit sources. The tricky thing about sources is sources usually also have sources, meaning somebody's telling the source something, and all of it can be fugazi at some point. So I'm not knocking people for what they do. I'm simply stating that you don't get that over here. You get everything you get from me is off the top. No middleman. It's coming straight from me and y'all. It's coming straight from me and y'all. So that is what it is. Yeah, Marco, tell him, get on here. Say it with your chest. Nah, damn it. Say it with your chest. I see a comment that I want to address, but I'm gonna wait because you know what? I'm gonna address it because here's the thing about this. This question for me is you get asked this question a lot. Who do you replace Odell with? Hell, I say this all the time. I don't know who you replace Odell with. But when you say be careful what you ask for, can you recruit the position any worse? As Florida State Seminole, can you recruit the defensive tackle position any worse since 2017? That's 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So for the last 6 to 7 years, can you recruit it any worse? I just would like to know. You can find somebody. But y'all didn't know who Alex Atkins was till he got here. You didn't know who Tony Tokars was till he got here. Miss me with the who do you hire? You can find somebody. There's plenty of young, hungry coaches that can relate to these young men. Odell's resume no longer speaks for itself. If that's what you're holding on to, you're sadly mistaken, my friends. If his resume spoke for itself, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in right now as far as D-line recruiting goes. The resume no longer speaks. No one cares about what you did a decade, 2 decades ago. People don't care about that crap no more. Atkins had no resume until he created one here at Florida State. You can find a guy. I had to address that one. Appreciate the comment, though. Jeff with the $5 dono. Hold on, Jeff. I'm trying to get you to pop up here. There we go. Question, Jeremiah Smith, coming for another visit for multiple days. You think it's a bunch of smoke? I think take Jeremiah for what he said. Jeremiah said that he's committed to Ohio State, but he is building relationships in other places because you never know what can happen. And I think that is a smart way. It's refreshing, honestly, to hear a young man speak about his recruiting prospect, his recruiting process in that manner, because that is absolutely the way you do it. Don't throw hats on the ground. Don't, and I'm not knocking Cromartie and McLean, but don't have the school you're committed to come all the way to Central Florida to visit you, and you're in a whole nother state without letting them know. Handle this stuff like a business. I respect the way Jeremiah Smith was handling his recruitment. He's been bluntly honest. I am committed to Ohio State, and I ain't going nowhere. But I'm going to build relationships because anything can happen. The guy that I'm committed to at Ohio State, and Brian Hartline, could take another job. He's one of the hot commodities in coaching right now. The man's putting 2 or 3 receivers in the NFL every single draft. Check it. Hartline is a hot commodity right now. If he leaves, I'm going somewhere else, so I'm gonna build relationships in the meantime. You gotta respect that. You gotta respect it. And if you're the schools, if Jeremiah Smith, the number 1 wide receiver in the country, says, I want to visit you, you're not gonna say no. You're gonna recruit that kid, even if he's telling you he's committed to Ohio State. You're gonna recruit him like you have a chance. So ultimately, man, do I think it's like legit? Until he decommits from Ohio State, I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't hold anything to it. But if you're Florida State, you got to recruit him. If he continues to entertain you, you got to recruit him. But that's just me. But no, I don't think it's a bunch of smoke in the sense of he's just playing with teams. I honestly don't think he's playing with teams. I think he's being up front with teams. But I think it's a bunch of smoke if you think that he's gonna like decommit anytime soon. I don't see that happening. But right, like Travis said, just keep chipping away at him. Let's be honest, it's not just a Florida State thing, guys. He's visiting all of the Florida schools. He's been to Florida multiple times. He's been to Miami multiple times. So I just also Florida State fans, brace yourself. It's not just like he's only interested in Florida State. He's interested in all of the big three. He's building a relationship with all of the big three schools. So, and his teammate just committed to Miami the other day. So, take that for what it's worth. Appreciate you with the super chat, Jeff, as always. So I got to give you your love.
Never Jeff.
Since that's your second super chat, I'll give you two.
More money. More money.
I don't disagree with Riley here, believe it or not. And I'm not one of those people that think Mike Norvell can't do no wrong. But one thing he showed me, when it comes to these coaching moves, he's been pretty on point. People hate it. Let me tell you something. I remember people despising not the move that Alex Atkins got the O coordinator, the fact that we didn't bring in a quarterback coach. People thought, who the hell is Tony Tokars? This guy, we should go bring in X, Y. I remember it like it was yesterday. The Florida State fans on social media. And again, social media is not a real place. So you take everything you hear on social media with a grain of salt. But I remember Florida State fans, man, who the hell is Tony Tokars? Why will we not go out and hire somebody? Why are we always promoting from within? This is stupid. Those same people probably ain't got a damn negative thing to say about Tony. Not from the way Jordan Travis played last year. Not from the fact that you flipped Brock Glenn from Ohio State last year. Oh, and by the way, you have one of the best quarterbacks in the class this year. Tony Tokar seems to be worth everything that Mike Norvell saw. I keep going back to Alex Atkins because he was a no-name before Mike Norvell got a hold of him. So Odell goes. I'm legit not worried, bro. I need some new life there anyway. Island Boy say Smith is flipping. Ray, the more I hear about it, I think I'm gonna start reading the comments too. Oh my gosh. Oh no, we got Ben Callahan coming back in. Okay, Ben, give me a minute. Let me address this comment and I'll bring it right in, Ben. I think we see Destin Hill in some degree. The more I hear about him, people are saying that he's in shape and he's looking the part. So then again, it's only June, July, going into August. We'll see how he is mid-season when he hasn't had to have this type of toll on his body for all of these months. But I think you'll see a little bit of Destin Hill. I still don't have a whole bunch of expectations for him. All right, Ben, what you got?
Yo, you can hear me?
I hear you loud and clear.
All right, so I just want to touch on. So you might have already talked about it in the old stream, but I might have not been there. Been out on college football for a little bit, off season and all. But AJ Duffy, from what I seen in the spring game, he ain't look like what we thought he might have been. Do you think he still got room to grow, still got time, or you think Brock Glenn is completely taking him over?
I think AJ's fine. I think I guess here's my question. I'll just answer your question with a question if I can. Let's say so AJ didn't look good to you in the spring. Who did look good to you in the spring?
I thought Brock Glenn did pretty good.
Yeah, but then okay, you think Brock Glenn did good, and that's fair. I thought Brock Glenn looked good too, but who was Brock Glenn going against?
Fair point.
A bunch of nobodies. He's going against guys that you don't even know are on the roster. A bunch of walk-ons. Jalen Floyd, not a knock on Floyd, but let's be honest, right? So you got to take everything you see in the spring game with a grain of salt, right? Duffy was going against the legit ones and twos. Same thing to Tate Rodemaker and obviously Jordan Travis. Glenn was going against guys who are going to be playing scout team this year. If we see anybody that Brock Glenn was going against in a full-on game this year, we're in trouble. We're in trouble. So
yeah.
That's what I like. Just slow down. AJ Duffy's fine. Some of these quarterbacks, we got a healthy quarterback room.
Yeah.
Gotta help. Don't just because you can't beat out Jordan Travis don't mean you can't play. I mean, that's Jordan Travis.
That's
you know what I'm saying? So I think AJ's fine. Now we'll see this time next year, we'll see what AJ is, because Jordan Travis will be gone. And it's gonna be AJ's job for the taking. And if he can't beat out Brock Glenn and he can't beat out Tate Rodemaker, then we can come back and have that discussion like, okay, AJ just ain't got it. But as of right now, I'm not stressing AJ Duffy at all. He has a lot of time to learn. And that's what you want out of young quarterbacks. You want to give them as much time to learn and grasp as they can.
Appreciate the time, Polk.
Man, anytime, Ben. Appreciate you again. Good question from Ben, though. I think that was a real good question. I think Florida State fans have been, you get 4-star quarterbacks and people want to go. People expect them to come. What do they always say? What's the old cliche in football? The most popular player is always the backup quarterback. It's never the starter, especially if your starter is mediocre. In our case, I think a lot of people love Jordan Travis. But even then, the most popular player is always that backup, because it's always of, what is he? Can he be the next? Right? And I think that's the case with AJ. It's people want to see shades of Jameis or something from him. And I get it, right? Again, the most popular player is always the backup. But don't worry. This time next year, we'll worry if AJ's not up to snuff. We'll know. Because, again, Jordan Travis is going to be gone. Yeah, there you go. Look, Briley. Stealing my thunder, so to speak. But, yeah, there you go. He hasn't had any pressure to – that's a great way to put it. When Jordan Travis is there, there's no rush. Y'all remember J.J. Constantino and how terrible J.J. Constantino was? Why do you think J.J. was as bad as he was? Well, there is a degree of work ethic you have to have. And maybe A.J. lacks some of that work ethic going into this. I'm not sure if Briley's exactly saying that, but when you say he hasn't had any pressure to develop, I think that goes into a little bit of work ethic. J.J. Constantino played behind Jameis Winston and who's the boy that transferred to Coker, Jacob Coker, Jameis Winston. Then they went and got J.J. Constantino was never even looked as a possible starter. Sean McGuire, all of those guys made it that J.J. Constantino never had any pressure to develop his skill. And like Briley says right here, the next 12 months are going to define what A.J. Duffy is. Maybe Brock Glenn behind him is pushing A.J. Duffy. Because one thing about Brock Glenn, he might be the best athlete, not named Jordan Travis right now, in the quarterback room. Now, Luke's not there yet. Brock Glenn can move a little bit. He's got an arm. Brock Glenn needs to work on his accuracy. And then you never know a quarterback's decision-making, right, until you actually see him getting live bullets thrown at him. But maybe Brock Glenn can push AJ to that level. We're going to find out. To my point and to Briley's point, this time next year, we're going to know if we got something in AJ or if we don't. I don't disagree. I don't disagree with that. Mama says, I ain't been on here in a minute. Glad to be back. Glad to have you back. Travis says, JJ was horrible. I was there for the Peach Bowl. I watched it. I wasn't there, but I watched it. But yes, next spring we'll tell you everything you need to know about as far as AJ Duffy goes. And you're going to have, again, the beautiful thing about this quarterback room, there's people that think we should look at the portal next year, and I wholeheartedly disagree. You don't bring in Brock Glenn, AJ Duffy, and Luke Cromenholt and then go to the portal. That's a black eye. Because now you're saying I can't develop the guys I got. Whoever's quarterbacking next season, not this upcoming season, next season better be a homegrown guy. I don't care if that's Tate. I don't care who starts. My assumption is the best guy's going to win out, but he better be not out of the portal. We don't even need to look at the portal when it comes to quarterbacks as far as I'm concerned. You understand that Florida State, as far as a quarterback room, we are overachieving, so to speak. Right now, we have a crowded room by all accounts. Maybe 20 years ago, this was the norm, but most rooms don't have 3 to 4 guys. Not with the way the transfer portal is designed. Most quarterback rooms aren't 3-4 deep. They're 2 at the most. I mean, look at Clay Klubnik goes down. Who does Clemson have? The freshman guy, a true freshman. Florida State has the benefit of having what is Tate Rodemaker, a redshirt junior this year? Or I think maybe if the COVID year doesn't count, maybe he's a redshirt sophomore. But Tate Rodemaker's been in college 4 years already, y'all. There's not a lot of schools that can have the benefit of saying they have a 4-year guy waiting behind a 5th-year guy. That's legit what we have right now. We have an embarrassment right now as far as the quarterback room goes. That's not the norm in today's era. Quarterback don't see the field in a couple of years. In today's era, they're in the portal. Hell, if quarterback doesn't see the field in 1 year, they're usually in the portal in today's era. So whatever they're doing there in that quarterback room has got those guys convinced. A lot of people thought after this year we might see AJ Duffy or somebody hit the portal because it's the norm. It's the norm. But they haven't had that. I do think next year, whoever loses that battle will leave, especially if it's Tate Rodemaker, because he doesn't have a lot of time. He's got to go play if he wants to get looked at for the league. He has to go play. Even AJ Duffy, if you tell me that Brock Glenn is able to beat out AJ Duffy, then he's probably gone, because if you can't beat out Brock Glenn, you can't beat out Luke Cromenholt. AJ, your time's probably up. But as of right now, Florida State has a deep quarterback room, and a lot of teams can't say that. Look at Miami. It's TVD, or then they go back to a tight end that's playing quarterback, a guy who can run the ball some but can't throw a lick. And then what's behind him? A true freshman who was the 600th ranked player in the country. You get what I'm saying? But that's norm for a lot of them. I mean, look at Georgia right now. They got some complete unknowns at the quarterback position. We'll see what happens. I think Carson Beck's going to be the guy there, most likely. Look at not Miami, I'm sorry. Well, yeah, look at Florida. They had to go get Graham Mertz because they had nothing there. We can go team after team. Quarterback rooms aren't 4 or 5. Kids don't sit to redshirt junior year no more in quarterback rooms anymore before they get their shot. So we're doing something right there. We're doing something right there. We're doing something right there. So let's see. Let me go back to the comments. Let's go back to comments. No, I agree with that, Tyler. Again, I'm not giving up on AJ, but like you said, he's got to get with it quick because Luke's coming. Glenn's already on campus. And you can say what you want about Tate. I don't know what Tate is or isn't quite yet. But he did pull Louisville out. And he made some great throws in that game. So AJ better get it together. Terrell says, why Jaden Floyd? You have low confidence. I don't have much confidence in any walk-on player. It's not necessarily directed at Jaden Floyd. But he's a walk-on safety. And again, if you go watch the spring, a lot of those big catches were on him. I pay attention to things like that. Call me a football nerd in that aspect. I pay attention to who's getting beat more so than who's actually beating the player, so to speak. Kentron Portier goes off. Well, that's cool, but I'm going to actually see who he was being guarded by to see how much stock do I put into Tron's spring game. Tron had a great spring game. Then actually go look at who was guarding him, and you go, oh, okay, he should have had a great spring game. So that's how I look at it. Of course, he's trying hard. Mike only hit the port of Brock clearly passes Duffy this fall. Because if Duffy is last before spring and Brock or Luke passes Tate, we could easily lose a QB. I think we'll probably lose. There's a good chance we'll lose a guy. It's a pretty good chance. I see you, Tony. Give me 1 second. I'll bring you in here. Marco says Tate hurt my feelings. Let's bring Tony in and see what Tony talking about. Tony, can you hear me?
Hey, what's going on? You can hear me?
Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good as always.
So, yeah, I was going to come in and ask about this. Basically, I don't know if you remember the Pitt versus Clemson game in 21. They had a 27-17 lead in the fourth quarter, 7 minutes left, and then they drove the ball. Like, they basically, took control with the run game and kept, like, the clock running. And then us against LSU, the defense, like, they got us to stop, and then with 2 minutes left, we fumbled the ball. And the first drive, we just got it turned over, and then we punted the ball.
This past year?
They muff it. Yeah, this past year.
Okay.
They muff it, and then we get the ball, and then we do the toss thing, So
Yeah.
do we, have the ability now with our offensive line, the improvements to do something like that, like control the game with 7 minutes left and, run the clock down?
I think we had the opportunity to do that at times last year. I think since Mike's been here, I mean, even the 5-7 season, what did we know from day one at Notre Dame? That we could run the ball. We knew we could run the ball. We've known we can run the ball with Mike Norvell since day one. Even the COVID year when we had Jay Sean Corbin and who's that other kid we had? I forget his name.
Webb.
Damian Webb. Like, we knew we could run the ball. We've been running the ball since Mike been here, to his credit. So obviously you expect with the improved O-line that, yeah, we should be able to definitely dominate games. So I think so. My biggest question has been, with the addition of all the playmakers on the outside, do you risk pissing Keon Coleman off because with 7 minutes left in the game, you're just going to run the ball? Keon's going to be like, man, I'm trying to go to the NFL. I need my targets. That's always been my question. Yes, you want to win, but Keon kind of, I think, came here to get the big-time targets. I'm not saying he didn't come here to win, but it's a delicate balance, you feel me? So that's my only question I've ever been is, do we change our identity at all?
Yeah. And I hope you learn from some of the stuff like that toss there, because like you're saying.
I think my criticism with the toss has never been necessarily because, like, even the LSU game, Trayshawn needs to catch the ball. Like, I can't take any responsibility out of the player, right? Execute the play. The play's there, execute it.
That's true.
Problem was, as a play caller, should you call a more low risk, high reward play? Like, could you have got the same thing out of just a handoff?
Hand it off to Lundy.
Right. Just hand the ball off. High reward, low risk. And in that play, with the pitch is more of a high risk, high reward. If the pitch goes through, it's a touchdown. But obviously, you drop a pitch, that completely changes everything. So, as a play caller, can you mitigate that?
Yep. And I think us having Bell, like maybe for some of that short yards stuff like that, we can use him.
I think Bell's going to get a lot of those sweet plays that we saw last year that didn't quite. I think Dewspan hit a couple of them pretty decent. I remember DeMarion Williams hit one for like 20 or 30 yards. I forget what game that was, though. Might have been Boston College. But they used to try that play with Micah Pittman, and it didn't quite. And then we found out Micah Pittman had a torn labrum in his hip, so it made sense why he couldn't really have the burst or the wiggle. I think Bell's going to get some of those opportunities, though. So,
yep.
I mean, he should be pretty effective. He should be pretty effective as those.
Right.
Ultimately, man, I think offense. I don't think there's a way to defend it. I'll be honest with you. I'm just so interested to see how they implement this offense because there's big time expectations. There's too many weapons.
Yeah.
And too many weapons.
Yeah, you really got to stick to running the football though, because like if you just a couple incomplete,
I mean
and then it drives over.
I mean, but that's our calling card. That's got to run the ball, right? And that's going to open up everything because Trey Benson's probably, I don't know. I wouldn't call him a first round pick, but he's one of the top 3 running backs off the board next year.
Yep.
The running backs can be iffy. Sometimes they'll, like this past draft, you had 2 running backs in the first round, but we've seen drafts previously where like 1 running back goes in the first round. So, but Trey Benson, I think, is one of the better running backs in the league, right? So you have to run the ball because that's going to open up. That's going to give Keon those one-on-one matchups. We already know what Johnny does in a one-on-one matchup.
Mm-hmm.
If those linebackers are worried about the running game, Jaheim Bell's going to be wide open across the middle as a tight end. I mean, it's just so many things that open, which is running the ball effectively.
Right. And then I don't want to take up too much time. I know I'm probably past like 5 minutes.
No, you're good because no one else be coming in anyway.
Gotcha. But yeah, I was going to ask, so basically next season, since we lose JT, we're losing Jared Verse. Benson's going to be gone. Probably Johnny Wilson. I don't know if, I'm not exactly sure. I think he's gone, and Keon.
I think Johnny's gone.
Yeah, so we're losing a lot of pieces. But do you see us as like an 8-win type team? Not even looking at the schedule. I know we have Notre Dame.
In 24?
Yeah, 8-4 type team, or are we like do we really take a step back? Because I know our offensive line should be better.
Yeah, so 24 is going to be very interesting because we do lose some playmakers, but arguably the offensive line is going to be. Man, our offensive line in 24 could be one of the best we've had in a long time.
Right.
You're talking about Armella finally being in the mix there.
Yep.
Jalen Early in the mix there. Simmons now as having a year under his belt, probably going to play that left tackle. I mean, that offensive line in 24 might be the best we've had in a long time. The question is going to be who's your quarterback and how does he look? I'm not so much worried about receiving core because of the way we've just retooled it. Even if you lose Johnny and Keon Coleman and Winston Wright, right? You're going to lose those 3 for sure.
Right.
Hakeem, Dustin Hill, and Darius Jacob, you're going to probably sign 4 to 5 receivers this year. I mean,
Kentron,
the portal. Yeah, Tron's probably going to come back. The portals, there's always good receivers in the portal. If there's one position that I don't worry about, it's receiver. You go look at the portal the last few years. There's always been a number 1 receiver that's entered the portal. So, I mean, we just got one in Keon Coleman, right? So,
right.
Now I'm not worried about. Definitely not worried about the running back. So our running back stable is going to be loaded even after we lose Trey Benson. Like Rodney Hill, Sam Singletary.
Yep.
You're bringing in 2 dynamic running backs this year. You still got CJ there if he sticks it out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not worried about the running backs. I'm not worried about my receivers. I'm not worried about my O-line. The question is going to be quarterback.
Right.
Who wins that job, and is he how good is he?
Right.
Everything else, though, I think, take care of itself to me. I think to a certain degree, because we have some big names. Trey Benson's a big name. Johnny's a big name. But honestly, offensively, man, we might be just as good in 24. It's all going to depend on the quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
But everything around him should be ready to go. Should be primed and ready to go. Just offensively speaking. I ain't even looking at it because secondary should be good in 24. Backer should be pretty good, actually, too.
Backers should be pretty good, too, yeah.
Yeah, backer should be fine.
DT, the D tackle room, we're going to be losing some.
I'll be a little bit worried on the edge.
On the edge, yeah.
Because I don't know if Pat's going to be here in 24. If Pat has a good season this year, I don't think it's a stretch that he leaves. I think a lot of people just expect Pat Payton to be back in 24, and I'm not one of those people necessarily. If he has a season we think he can have, Pat's gone.
Right.
6'5", 6'5" DNs don't just grow on trees and with that type of bend and all of that. So it'd be interesting to see.
Byron, Dante Anderson, that JUCO guy we got, Jaden Jones.
Yeah, and the problem with all those guys is they have yet to do it on a Saturday. They might look good in practice. They might look good in the spring game. None of them have done it on a Saturday yet. I got to see him on a Saturday because I think Dante Anderson has some tools. But until I see him against somebody other than us in a practice setting or a spring, I don't know. Don't know what I got there yet.
Yep. And then another thing is we don't even know about Jackson's waiver still for this season. But if he doesn't get it,
you gotta expect that he gets it. But you're right.
Right.
What's going on with that?
Yeah. If he doesn't get it, then he should have like another couple years, right?
If he doesn't get it, I don't think so. What is he? He should be he'll be a sophomore this year. I think if he doesn't get it, he burns a year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think if he doesn't get a waiver, I think he has to burn this year, which would be, so I think or he might be a junior. Somebody in the chat might know. I don't know for sure. I have to look it up. He's either a sophomore or junior, but he would burn this year. If he doesn't get a waiver, then this is essentially a wasted year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then you got Farmer.
Again, do you trust Farmer? Do you trust him?
I don't.
I don't either. With the stunt he pulled this past offseason, I mean, who's to say he doesn't test his water for the transfer portal again? I don't trust Farmer.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I'm not knocking him for it. Go get your money, man. If somebody want to pay you big money, go do it. I'm just saying I don't trust it. So I don't look at Farmer as a foregone conclusion to coming back personally.
And that just brings up the whole like Odell discussion. Like, it's just not cutting it anymore.
I'm trying to tell people. Been trying to tell people.
Yeah, it's not.
Worst case scenario, you lose Fisk, obviously. He's a senior. You're going to lose Fabian, obviously. Senior. Briggs. I think Malcolm Ray's either a junior or a senior, but he might be a senior. Malcolm Ray was here when Willie was here, so Malcolm Ray might be a senior. That's 4 defensive tackle. Again, worst case scenario, Joshua Farmer actually hits the portal and finds somebody that wants to pay him big money. He goes. That's 5 guys. Who do you have? Jackson. Jackson already said before, if Farmer leaves, I'm leaving. They did that whole fiasco this offseason where they both threatened to leave.
Yeah, we're too thin.
So who do you trust? Do you trust Jackson? No. You can't trust Farmer? No. You got Daniel Lyons and Tafasi and KJ. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to have to go to the transfer portal pretty heavy in the defensive tackle rotation. I mean, that's fine, but that's not – I mean, depending on who hits the portal and who you can find, maybe it can work out for you, but that's not something I would want to bank on.
Yeah, me either. That's not ideal. It's guys that, like, they could turn into something, but they haven't shown anything. So
if Bishop Thomas and Antavius Woody stay, maybe I'm a little less worried.
Thomas and Woody, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But they left. So
mm-hmm.
I don't even know where Woody went. I know Thomas went to Colorado. I don't even know where Antavius Woody ended up going.
It was some small school. I forgot exactly. Like, was it UAB? It might have been UAB. It was something small like that.
He's from Alabama, so that might make some sense that he would go back to Alabama. We should have just stayed at,
Exactly.
But so yeah, man, that defensive tackle room again. I don't know. A lot of question marks there.
Yeah. But I think that's going to be really fun seeing the QBs battle it out and see who that guy is going to be. And then going forward, we know Luke is special. We know he's a different talent. We know he's got an arm that like these guys don't really have like that. I know I've seen Brock Glenn.
I think Glenn's got an arm. I won't say it might not be Luke, but Glenn's got an arm.
Yeah, on the run, I've seen him throw like 55 yards. So, but yeah, that's going to be good to watch.
Yeah, I think next year this time we'll be definitely excited about that quarterback battle.
And the rival,
the question is going to be who wins it, and then as soon as he has a bad game, they're going to be calling for his head. Whoever wins it, it doesn't matter who it is. They're gonna take one bad game to be like, oh no, we need to see the next guy. But this time next year should be fun in terms of quarterback battle. We haven't had a legit quarterback battle since when? I guess Travis and Milton was the last legit quarterback battle, right?
And just like that, like, this time we're going to have to be patient with whoever it is. And because like you were saying before with Milton and JT, we need to pick a guy and stick with him. It doesn't matter which one.
That's all I ever asked.
So like if the first guy game one doesn't look, too good, you got to give him time still.
Right.
And also we can lean on the ground game too.
Ground game's going to be there. I think if there's one thing I can say about Mike, as long as he's the head coach here, the ground game's going to be there, which definitely helps your quarterback room out.
Yeah.
If you look at just the way he's recruiting that position, and I mean, just the way Trey Benson was a nobody, and now he's one of the most talked about running backs in the country. Like, that speaks to me. I don't know, but it speaks to me. Because I didn't think Trey Benson was it, but that's just because I'd never seen him.
All we seen was him saying, "I tore everything."
Right.
That's all.
Like, why do I want that? Why do I want that? Right. But Trey Benson is the guy, and people are sleeping on Lawrence Toafili. I think he's one of the guys too. So as long as Mike's here, we're gonna be able to run the football.
Mm-hmm. And then tight ends, Landon Thomas. You think he's gonna be ready?
Yeah, I think Landon, he's not some tight end that we got to groom necessarily. I mean, we're in a good space with the tight ends too, because yes, you're gonna lose. Jaheim's probably here. He has 2 years, but Jaheim's probably one and done, right? If we're being honest. But Biscuit will still be here.
Mm-hmm.
Morlock will still be here. From everything I hear, they really like Powers. So we'll see. I mean, Powers has the size. I haven't seen anything from him, but we'll see. They like him from what I hear. And then, yeah, Landon Thomas is going to come in and he's going to compete, I think, with the best of them. And one thing about Landon Thomas is he's going to be probably the most naturally gifted of all of them. So similar to, Nick O'Leary, like he's going to compete probably day one and probably get in that rotation, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I think Landon Thomas is the reason why they moved Courtney to linebacker, because there was just no future at tight end.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And then Destin Hill being here. Everybody's expecting him to do things in year one, but year two, it's fair game.
Oh, year two is where, again, year one, anything he gives me this year is a
icing on the cake.
Yeah, it's like, okay, cool, awesome. But year two is where he's going to be asked to be, because you're going to lose your wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2, and your top 3 receivers are going to be gone. Winston Wright, Johnny, and Keon are gone. So he's going to be asked to be one of those, a 1, 2, or 3.
Yep.
Along with Hakeem and Jacobs. Like, that might be your receiving core next year. Hakeem, Jacobs, and Dustin Hill.
Mm-hmm.
I know we still got Tron. And I don't dislike Tron, but Tron's not as naturally gifted as any of those guys I just named.
Yeah, that's true.
So, yeah, Dustin Hill next year is going to be asked to be a guy. And who knows? He could be a guy this year. Again, no expectations for me, though. But I never thought he'd get here, so what do I know?
Right. But they sound like he's like way ahead,
No, I know. I hear everything I've heard so far is that he's exceeding every expectation.
Yeah.
So whatever he was doing the last 2 years, from a workout standpoint or whatever he was doing is paying off for him. He wasn't just sitting home playing Call of Duty all day. He was actually doing some stuff, and that's a testament to him and his mindset. So every obstacle he's overcame. So you have nothing. And at the end of the day, at some point, we got to not doubt him. I mean, Dustin Hill has proven that he's here. Like, he's the only kid I can think of, and I've been a fan of college football for a long time. I've been a nerd and covered recruiting for a long time, believe it or not. Even when I didn't do this, I still was like, it was just a hobby, right? Just to follow that stuff. And I can't think of a prospect that's ever not signed on signing day, disappeared it's just never happened.
Yeah.
It's just never happened. Usually a guy doesn't sign and you might hear of him later on, but that's because he went to some JUCO and now he's back at the Division I level because he balled out like a Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Who went to Florida, got kicked off the team, disappeared, goes to JUCO, gets I think Cam won 2 JUCO championships and then came back, right? That might happen. But usually, man, you don't hear guys who disappear for 2 years and then come to the school that they originally committed to and has all of his eligibility. Like, that's insane.
Didn't get into any kind of trouble.
I mean, for all we know, like, he just, whatever.
Yeah.
Again, there's details out there about whatever happened and whatnot, but at the end of the day, the man, he just didn't sit around for 2 years. He actually looked like he was putting in work. He was dedicated. He was determined to get here and play football, and he's here now.
Mm-hmm.
And that just doesn't happen. I've never seen it.
Yeah,
I've never seen it. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm rooting for Dustin Hill. I want him to be a first-round pick. I want him to be all of that because in 2023, a lot of adults don't have that type of dedication to anything. So for an 18, 17-year-old to go through whatever it is he went through and to still make it, how can you not root for that? How can you not root for that?
Yep. Another thing I was going to mention, KJ Bolden, Kevin Levi, the whole him not being a take thing, I was going to mention it to you. It was an article about KJ Bolden that was released. I think it was 247, written by Sinone on July 13th. And basically they were saying that he was a take, Kevin Levi, but he became not a take after KJ Bolden's visit to us. So basically they were saying that, like by him not being a take, they think that, FSU feels good about KJ Bolden.
Yeah, you know me, man. I take all of those things with a grain of salt because we read those articles and then Bolden goes to Georgia, just theoretically. And then everybody's going to be like, but 247 said, bro, my problem is with Florida State fans is like they take everything they read as the gospel. Mm-hmm. And when these kids talk to these reporters, they're not going to tell them no. Like, I saw something on Twitter where another 247 guy he posted on, I guess, the message boards, hey, today I asked McCoy, is he going to flip? And he told me no. So that means, bro, what the hell you think he's going to tell you? He's not going to be like, yeah, man, I'm done. I'm not coming there and hang up the phone. Like, what do we?
Yeah. And for anybody watching, the reason is because if he does that, he's going to lose his options here.
Right. No, they're not going to tell you the truth. So I just feel like you take everything with a grain of salt that you hear.
Yeah.
As far as KJ Bolden goes, I said it all along. I think before even Trader committed, I said, I like Bolden. I think we have a better chance of getting Bolden than Trader. I've always thought that. Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, hold on. I'll come in there a minute. I've always said that. So I just think Bolden's going to be a year-long recruitment. Like, I'd be shocked if August came and he committed to Florida State. Absolutely stunned.
Mm-hmm.
Not saying it's impossible. I'd just be stunned. Whatever maybe Bolden told them guys on his last visit, maybe made them say Levi or Levy or however you pronounce that last name isn't a take, but it is what it is. I would have took him, and then if Bolden, it's not like you're gonna take, and that's why I don't buy that stuff. You don't take. It's not like you can't take Levy or Levi. How do you pronounce that last name? I don't know. It's not like you don't take him and then tell Bolden, oh, because we took this guy, you know, the 5-star safety, #1 in the country, you can't come now. You take both of them.
Right.
You take both of them, and if what's the name don't want to come compete, he's gonna leave. He see Bolden come, then he's gonna leave if that's the way he feels. Like, what are we talking about? You take both of them. So I don't know, man. I don't really buy a lot of that stuff, but those guys have a job to do. So
I got you. Yeah. When I first seen it, I was like, yeah, I'm not even paying attention to this. I've been like completely not, taking that whole thing serious with KJ Bolden. I've just been assuming Georgia for forever, but I don't know. I just got a different feeling.
I wouldn't say don't take it serious. I just don't expect it to be August 5th.
Right.
He's going to commit August 5th. There's certain recruits that you go, okay, when this guy commits, like I've said this all along, and that's just not because I think Florida State gets him. I think when Charles Lester commits, I think he's going to be committed because it's just the way he's approached his recruiting process. He did all of his visits early.
Mm-hmm.
He's taken his time. He's, I think when Lester commits on the 28th or whatever it is, I think there's no worry. If whatever school he goes to, they shouldn't worry about his commitment unless they completely have a terrible season, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think when Bolden, though, I mean, remember, FSU's his alleged dream school. Now, that hasn't meant anything to us in the last 5 years. Every time I hear a kid has us as his dream school, they never come here. But remember, Bolden, this is his dream school. And I have always thought that he's going to commit to Georgia. Apparently, Ohio State's maybe a dark horse there. But he told Florida State he plans on taking an official visit for the Miami game.
Yep, exactly.
If Florida State is, I don't know what the record would be, but if we're a one-loss team come that game, does anybody think we're losing to Miami? I mean, come on. I'm not saying Miami can't have a good season. They may very well, but we're kind of at different stages, Florida State and Miami right now.
Yep.
Bolden, if he's still making those official visits after committing in August, to me his recruitment's not done.
Right.
So.
And I don't even think it's just us. I think October 6th he's going somewhere. I don't remember exactly what.
And that that just furthers my point. Again, these young men are allowed to do their recruiting how they see fit. But when you commit to a school and then continue to go other places, why even commit?
Right.
That's just me.
Yeah.
So we have McCoy and Tawaski Abrams committed to us, but they've acted like they've been uncommitted for like the last 4 months. Like,
I already count them out of the class, to be honest.
Me too. To be honest with you, I'm the same way. I count them out of the class, but they're committed. So here we are.
And I looked at the calculation. If we lose both of them right now, we would be number 17. So I've already accepted that.
So and don't even drop that far. So that shows you that we're still doing pretty damn good recruiting.
Yeah, and then we get Lester, I believe, wholeheartedly. We would go back to number 12 is what it was, which these are just calculations, but everything can change. Other people's recruiting changes too, like Bama today.
So anytime a kid acts like that, take his commitment with a grain of salt. You look at the guys that we had, like, I don't think Cam's taken a visit anywhere.
Right.
Since committing.
Luke only went to
Luke went to Penn State, and he shut it down after that.
Yep.
I mean, so that just shows you what I'm talking about. So
yeah.
We'll see. I think there's some legit smoke with KJ, but I don't think it's going to be a quick decision there.
Yeah, me either. It's going to be dragged out, and we'll have to just wait and see on signing day.
Because Georgia's going to have for all intents and purposes, a good season because their schedule is not hard either, and they're Georgia, and they're
Yep.
So Georgia's gonna have a good season. We're gonna have a solid season too. It's gonna depend on what he wants to do.
Yep.
Can Adam Fuller and these guys close the deal? That's going to be the question because Adam Fuller coaches safeties, so we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Another thing is Solomon. I see him as he could play safety for sure. He's very physical, and also I think his recruitment is important, obviously because of the 5-star linebacker that is connected to him.
Yeah, that's what everybody. His brother, right?
Yeah.
Whatever. Everybody's been talking about that. I originally didn't think we'd get him. But I don't know. Something's shifting there. It seems like something's shifting there.
I agree.
That's the thing. Like I just read, like I said, man, I just read the tea leaves, right? I just look at the constellations and the stars and say, oh, okay, let me connect these dots. And so while I originally didn't think Solomon was there, now like some developments have happened. And I'm like, okay, Solomon seems to be trending more positively. And I thought we were kind of locked in for Levy, and that didn't happen. So now I'm like, okay, FSU, which makes sense though, because they got Ricky Knight, they got CJ Hurd, and they got Red Morgan.
Who's a ball?
Maybe now it's big. It's what do we say? Is big game fishing now in that secondary, which makes sense.
Yep.
It makes sense that you're after Lester and Bolden and Solomon and Patterson, like that makes sense to me. So you get your core guys, and then you go after the big fish, and I'm with it. That's how you should do it.
Yep. And Morgan can ball. Like if you watch his,
I watched him.
Yeah, that dude he's going full speed to the ball.
Travis said Zach said FSU likes Bolden at corner. I guess that's interesting. I wonder if Bolden. Maybe that's. It makes some sense. Maybe that's how. Maybe that's the pitch. Because at the end of the day, corners make more money than safeties. At the end of the day, that's. It's like a O-line. What's the premium position on the O-line? The tackles. They might not necessarily. I personally think the center is the most important player on the O-line. But the tackles are the glorified position. Same thing at defensive line. I think interior D linemen are more important, but the edge guys get all the glory. This is very similar in the secondary. Though I do think corners are more important than safeties. But corners are the glory position. Maybe the pitch to Bolden is, hey, we want you to come here and be a corner. We'll figure out safety. You come here and be a corner. That could be the pitch, and that would make sense. If you're telling me FSU's gained some ground in Bolden's recruitment, it's because it's a different pitch than Georgia. Georgia's telling them safety, we're telling them corner. Maybe he's interested in being a corner. Makes some sense. Don't know if it's true, but makes sense.
I mean, he's going to get some good matchups doing that and make some plays.
I mean, if your corners are, think about that. Your corners are AZ, Lester, and Bolden. I mean, I can work with that.
Crazy.
I can work with that. I don't know how true that is again, but I'd be interested to see it. I think the secondary should cross train anyway. I think your corner should play some safety. Your safety should play some corner, unless they have a specific skill sets that doesn't translate. Like I never thought Omarion Cooper translated to safety, right? So it made sense when he transferred. I think Deion's going to play him at corner over there.
Yeah. Smith, I seen somebody mention Jeremiah Smith. For me, I just don't think that he's coming in.
I think that's a guy that you recruit as long as he's, but again, I wouldn't put any money on, like if you know.
Yeah. I think he's going to be visiting. He's going to take all his visits and do all that stuff, but
he's going to visit all of the big three. He's going to do all of that.
I think it's a just in case. People are talking about Hartline, taking that Northwestern job or whatever. I don't know if that happens.
Hartline is going to be linked to a bunch of jobs.
Yeah.
He recruits too well to not be. Ohio State made the move to OC for him this year. And then I'm telling you, this time next year, he'll have a job. He probably won't be at Ohio State past next year. He's one of the hot young coaches. And again, he's putting guys in the league. Ohio State's legit having 2 and 3 receivers drafted in the first round every year. So Hartline's a hot commodity. So someone's going to give him a job.
Yeah.
And so that makes sense. And Jeremiah Smith, I think, is smart enough that he understands, like, okay, I want to go play for this guy, but he probably won't be there the entire time I'm in college. And the transfer portal is a legit option in today's college football. So I can still commit to him, play for him for a year or two, and then when he transfers, maybe he takes a job that I don't want to go to. Maybe Hartline doesn't get a big-time job. It's in his first college job. Maybe he gets, Cincinnati or something like that. I don't know. Jeremiah Smith don't want to go play at Cincinnati, but now I can go back home because I built those relationships, and I can see which one of the big 3 are having the best season or whatever, who has the highest trajectory, and I can go play for one of them. I think Jeremiah Smith has been very smart in the way he's approached his recruitment, honestly.
Yep, I agree.
And I honestly respect it.
Clemson. Do we break the 7-year lost 7 years of just not being able to handle them? Because like even 2 years ago, we went 6-6, but we almost beat them, or we went 5-7. It was all Jermaine though.
Yeah, Jermaine damn near won that game single-handedly, like literally. But that game hurt too, because I thought we had them. I really thought we had them. So I said this last stream. I don't know if you watched the last stream.
I missed that one.
I think people are overrating LSU a little bit. I think people think LSU is like this juggernaut. And I'm looking at LSU and I'm like, bro, this is the same team we played last year.
Right.
Like almost exact. Like everybody's talking about this O-line. And I'm like, did y'all not watch our D-line against that O-line last year? Fully dominated it from Verse to Lovett. They couldn't handle either guy.
Yep.
And we've gotten better. I think people are overrating LSU.
Yep.
The problem is I think people are underrating Clemson. I think people expect Clemson to be like trash, and I don't. Until I see it, I don't necessarily believe it. I think we're underrating Clemson just because I think the ACC is just tired of Clemson dominating the conference, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I agree. I said it from the jump. This year's all about Clemson, but it's not going to be easy. I don't think that game, that 4th game of the season, is an easy game. I don't.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean I don't think we can't win it. I just don't like. Someone asked a question to me in the last stream, like, is it more likely that we blow out LSU or Clemson? And to me, it's like, nah. I feel like we would blow out LSU. Clemson on the road. I know it happened in 2013, but I don't, this ain't 2013, right? So is it possible? I guess. I think it's more likely that we could lose the first game to Clemson and get them back in the rematch in a neutral site game.
Yeah.
It's also possible that we could win both games. It's also possible that we could beat them at home and lose the neutral. I mean, all of those things are possible. We just have to beat them. We have to beat them this year. One of the 2 games, we got to beat them.
For LSU, I know because I actually I looked pretty deeply. I wanted to compare our entire defensive unit against theirs because it's always so hype, SEC defense and all that with LSU. And so I went, position by position, and it's not as fresh now because that was a couple months ago. But
even look at if LSU was as good as if people wanted to pretend they were. Look how hard they hit the portal for that secondary.
That's what I'm saying. The secondary.
Look how hard they hit the portal for that D-line.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as confident in it as people are trying to make it out to be.
Yeah.
They got a dude from Syracuse in their secondary that we've already seen. Like, I guess he's a solid player, but come on, he's not. We've been there and done that. So, again, the way LSU attacked the portal, in my opinion, showed me that they're not as confident as that team as people are saying or pretending that they are.
Right.
We'll see.
If their weakness on defense, if that DB room is a grade C, right? Our wide receivers with Keon Coleman, all the weapons we have, Johnny Wilson, all these guys, Jaheim Bell, I give us an A right there. So that's going to be something we could take advantage of, just like last year.
Yeah. I love Miami fans. He said LSU had true freshmen playing their first college game. Like Florida State didn't have anybody playing their first game against LSU either. like if we had a bunch of seniors out there. Like Jarrett Verse was a known commodity last year. Like, okay, he was coming from Albany.
Right.
Like, what are we talking about?
And he got like 2 sacks.
So, I mean, it is what it is. Again, if LSU can get better, who's to say why can't we get better?
Yeah.
I'm just not looking at LSU like that.
Somebody said, do recruits really care about winning games? JoJo to Miami, their record was awful. That's interesting. I think what do you blame it on?
Just because you put a laughing emoji don't make what you said funny. Because the Florida State that played LSU wasn't the same Florida State team at the beginning of the year either. So anything you can say, anything you can do, I can do better there. New King. Good to see you back here though. You know, you tend to go ghost when Miami's sucking at everything they do. You disappear for a long time. So it's good to see you back though.
That's a Miami fan, so he should know about TAMU. A&M actually beat LSU later in the season when they're supposed to be so dynamite.
Don't bring logic into the conversation because, you know, Texas A&M played a bunch of freshmen in their game and they beat Miami. But don't bring logic into the conversation because for LSU and Florida State that wasn't a thing. Like, oh, they played a bunch of freshmen, y'all supposed to beat them. But when TAMU played a bunch of freshmen, y'all still ended up losing. So again, don't bring logic into the conversation with Miami fans.
That's funny.
That's what they do. You know, they talk, but they don't think before they speak. So then here we are.
Yep.
Oh, I got a message. I got a message from. Oh, I feel you, VJ. My bad. I just saw your message. Recruiting most time is about relationships. With JoJo, it's a family thing. If there's one thing I can say, I was a one Florida State person that was telling people that JoJo was going to stay, so it didn't surprise me. I think I was the only person that was not surprised that JoJo Trader stayed.
I was surprised by that.
I was the only one. I felt like I was the only one that just was like, oh, okay, cool.
I didn't think he was staying. No,
I did. Bro, your laughing emojis don't make what you're saying funny. That is stupid logic on your part. But keep going, New King. I'm done with that conversation as of right now. What else you got for me, Tony?
we covered a lot.
Yeah, man, you've been on here for a minute, but I appreciate you.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, bro.
All right, man. Thank you.
Yep, for sure.
We're about to hit the 2-hour mark, man. So hit that like button if you haven't hit the like button already. Tony held it down for y'all. So we'll see what happens. I think the media is in love with us this year, though. I see some of y'all saying that Florida State, the media hasn't been kind But I feel like the media's been in love with us this offseason. It seems like, to me anyway. So bro, don't do it. New King says silly things. Bro says I go on at weird times and he's been working, but I catch him on other live streams, mainly the Miami ones. They go on at weird times, but he's always on theirs. I mean, I get it. You're a Miami fan. You should support those streams by all means. You should continue to support streams. We all know, man. New King went absolutely ghost after 45-3. We didn't see him for months. Y'all know the deal. Y'all know the deal. Marco, you really feel good about Louisville this year? Is Cunningham still there, Marco? Is Cunningham still your quarterback this year? No, they don't. That's the sad part. Like, it's one thing if you're just like a troll. Guys like New King actually believe what they say. That's the problem. Man, what you coming in here looking at? Put some ice on that quad. Coming here looking crazy. Yeah, man, Tony did a good job. Tony did a good job. Unless, hold on. Oh, my bad. I'm going to get to that comment too. But unless Miami's actually halfway decent this year, that's the only game I can see a college game day coming to Tallahassee. We don't have a great home schedule this year, y'all. So I don't think so. Our home schedule isn't great. Miami's the best home game we have, and it's late in the season. And that's going to be dependent on if Miami has 1, 2 losses or 3 and 4 losses. So that's what that's going to come down to. All of a sudden, exactly. They don't fool me. You get JoJo Trader, and now Miami fans want to show up on the stream. For the last 6 months, Kane Zay has been the only Miami fan in this chat on a regular basis, almost every stream. Zay is the only Miami fan I give credit to. He's the only one that was in here when the fire was the hottest. After Middle Tennessee State, Zay was in the building. After the boys got waxed by Pitt and Duke, Zay was in the building. Zay's been in the trenches. He's the only Miami fan that comes in here stream after stream. And I'm not saying other Miami fans don't watch, but they don't comment. They just, I guess, just want to stare at me. I don't know. Zay's the only one that come in here, interacts, takes it on the chin like a man, and talks football. All these other Miami fans show up after they get JoJo Trader. Forget the 15 3-stars they've already signed. They want to talk after JoJo Trader. Kudos to JoJo Trader. I'm the one Florida State fan. You can't troll about JoJo Trader. I said from the jump Florida State wasn't getting JoJo Trader and that he was going to stay in Miami. So y'all ain't doing nothing to me. I saw it coming. Like, I'm sorry that y'all go listen to some of these other 247 or whoever you listen to and actually was fooled by that nonsense. I told you from the jump. Terrence want to come in here? I don't know. He just put in the eye emojis. He ain't say nothing. Okay, so Cunningham's gone. Who's your quarterback, Marco? That's my question. Who's your quarterback? No, Marco is a Louisville fan, believe it or not. So he doesn't get the Miami 20-year thing. He's a Louisville fan, so Marco's all right. Not if Miami don't have a halfway decent team this year. We're not getting game day. Y'all bugging 50 people. Where do you see only 3 likes, bruh? Refresh your screen, Terrence, because I see 46 likes, which is on par with 51 people watching. I can get with 46 likes. I don't know where he see 3 likes at. Terrence's internet ain't even up to par, y'all. I mean, I treat Clemson like I treat Georgia in some aspect. Until a team knocks Clemson off his pedestal, they're the favorites every year. I mean, I look at it that way. I look at it that way. Until Clemson is knocked off his pedestal, they're the favorite. So I don't mind being an underdog. Yeah, bro, your internet wonky over there, Terrence. I have one good season, and now y'all a playoff team. TCU didn't even have a good season before they became a playoff team. Again, the logic don't line up. You got to come with some better material. What does your previous season have to do with the new season? I think Auburn won 3 games the year before we played them in a national championship, bro. What are you talking about? New King, let's actually talk football and get your emotions out of it. I know it's hard for Miami fans to do, but let's actually talk football. Because right now what you're doing, you're making yourself look bad. Definitely. If we keep predicting Atkins will leave next offseason, eventually you'll be right. Atkins, yeah. Eventually he's gonna go somewhere. I think the good thing about Atkins is he's Auburn had Cam. See this? Okay, we're gonna somebody put New King in timeout because he just said something dumb. He said Auburn had Cam Newton. Auburn did not have Cam Newton when they played us in the national championship game, bro. Somebody put this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. The laughing emojis, you might as well put clown emojis, bro, after what you're saying. Golly. Shout out to Peter Shields with the $5. Pear carrot. Oh, he dropped a sticker with the pear saying mic drop. I got you, Peter.
Clickety clank, the money goes into my piggy bank.
Again, man, the laughing emojis don't do you justice. At least know what you're talking about. But they play in the SEC. What does that matter? They still went. They won 3 or 4 games a year prior to Gus Malzahn getting there, and then went to the national championship. Again, what does it matter? The quick turnarounds happen in college football, bro. It happens. We've seen it. We talked about TCU, Auburn. Those are just the 2 off the top of my head. If I went through the list, I'm pretty sure I can find a couple other ones. Trey Mason was solid. It's that one season put Gus Malzahn on the map. He ain't been that good since. Oh, there's a bunch of fun facts you can have with Miami fans. They have one bowl game win in the last 10 years. As a matter of fact, hold on. Let me read these stats off to y'all. I got y'all. Because Miami fans want to come in and make their presence known. I got something for them because this is what we do. Let me find my post here. Because I got some fun facts for y'all. Y'all ready? Oh, the guy deleted the tweet. That's not nice. Well, never mind. I can't read those facts. The guy deleted it. I think Bobby actually has more bowl wins in the same time span or something like that. 2-1 or something like that. It's something like that. It's actually kind of pathetic. Honestly, bro, I don't think it's a crazy thing to think that. When you're losing Texas and Oklahoma, as far as I'm concerned, the Big 12's up for grabs. I mean, you got TCU, but don't let last year TCU fool you into saying that they're going to be a perennial power. They may turn into that, but I think UCF has a chance to win it. If you're telling me Texas or Oklahoma are gone, I think it's up for grabs. Up for grabs. Your Louisville question. I don't know if that's directed towards me or not, Char, but if I didn't see it, ask it again. Funny how New King comes back in the offseason. Again, Miami fans have been humbled. They haven't been, even this offseason, they haven't been as loud as they usually are. Miami is smack dab in the middle of the greatest football talent producing region in the most glamorous city next to LA in the nation, but can't field a decent football team. Fun fact. You think FSU knows it's leaving the ACC by 2025? No, not that we've left, but are they set to leave? I think. Excuse me. I think our athletic director is positioning us to have that. I think 2025 is kind of early, but we'll see, man. That's up to the lawyers and how all that works out. I don't know. L's up. Well, that's Louisville. I mean, L's up. Sure. Does that mean like you taking losses? What's L's up mean, Anthony? And I appreciate my Louisville fans, by all means. But like, this usually is for Jeff. But I mean, this is for my Louisville fans.
Maybe Jeff.
Here, Terrence, I got you. Terrence, you only got like 30 minutes, bro. I'm not going to be on here too much longer, but I got you. Links in the chat, Terrence. But no, both UF and UM fans have been all about claiming FSU is overrated, tearing us down instead of touting themselves. They're so scared of what is about to happen. I agree. I don't disagree with that. I can't wait to the day. Here comes John. John's about to come with a fun fact, y'all. Yes, you do. Over the last, I don't know, how many years has that been? 60 years? You know what another fun fact is, John Shields? Over the last 20 years, we have you guys beat in the series. Fun fact. I think offensively would be fine. You know, a lot of Louisville fans say that. That's so interesting to me that a lot of Louisville fans is like, I've always liked Florida State. I mean, again, I appreciate it. Marco has said the same thing. Like, I used to like Florida. Like, I've always been a low-key fan of Florida State. Brownlee finna be all ACC? What? Do y'all believe that? Hey, hold on. Let me turn the music down in the background. He just got Florida State fans. Seminole Nation. 863 Tribe. My man Marco just said Brownlee finna be all AC. Hold on. I'm sorry, Marco. I gotta hit you with one. Shut that up. I want to hear that shit. Brownlee. Listen, man. Told y'all about Jarvis Brownlee. He ain't about to be all ACC and what? We'll get your blanket. I appreciate. I mean, as a fan, Marco, you're supposed to say that. I appreciate that, Marco. I do. I appreciate you. That was good. That made me laugh, bro. Terrence, where you at, man? I dropped the link. You don't even show up. Like, here we go. Maybe he want me to drop it in the group chat. Hold on. Oh, nope. There he is. He just showed up. All right, y'all get ready for Terrence. I don't know what he's gonna. Terrence has a propensity to get negative. We'll see what he's talking about. Terrence, what's up, man? There we go. Can you hear me?
Who? What I did?
Can you hear me?
Did you just say I get negative?
Oh yeah. You know how you do. I mean, somebody said Jarvis Brownlee about to be all ACC.
Really? Wow.
Marco said Jarvis Brownlee finna be all ACC. See? Can't help but laugh. Can't help but laugh.
Hey, man, I love to see that happen for the guy, man.
Okay.
Damn. ACC be down bad at DB if that's the case. Boy.
Gotta be. Gotta be.
Hey, we gotta see some injuries. He ain't got to guard Johnny this year.
No, who you gonna guard? Keon?
We playing now?
Oh no, you're right. We don't play them. You're right. Yeah. Good point.
Oh man.
Good point.
Dang.
So that's a good point. Brownlee won't get destroyed by Johnny this year. Good point.
Who throwing the ball out there?
I don't know. Cunningham's gone, so I don't know. I don't know who their quarterback is.
Didn't we see they back up for a little bit?
I think they got a transfer that they got. Then they got to transfer.
Hey.
Yeah, I don't know who the quarterback is. They have an easy schedule though, so Louisville might make it. Like just because they don't really play none of the tough teams in the ACC. They play Miami, but that's not a tough team. So Jake Plummer from Cal. Okay, so they play Jake Plummer. That's their quarterback. Transfer from Cal. Oh, you're muted.
Is that Jake's son or something? Oh, Plumlee.
I thought Jake Plumlee played at UCF last year. Right? Didn't he?
Yeah, that's why I'm like, I don't know who their quarterback is.
They said they got a guy from Cal. It's got to be Plummer because Plumlee played for UCF last year. As a matter of fact, Plumlee, I think, was a starting quarterback when UCF beat Louisville last year. Yeah, Jake Plummer. So is that the son of like the Jake Plummer?
Jake Plummer, Jake the Snake.
Yeah,
Arizona QB.
Is that his? He says that's not his son. Okay, so he just has the same name. Okay.
Doesn't really matter, in my opinion. I mean, did they still got that linebacker I liked? What was it, number 30 or something like that? 32.
I think he got drafted.
Dude was a beast. He was everywhere.
So what you got? What you got?
What I got? I'm hella excited about Danzy. I mean, I know y'all already talked about that, but that's my guy. Really excited that got closed out. I'm really excited about that running back room for 2024. It's just a good weekend, man. It's been a good weekend. You know, Atkins doing Atkins things.
Yeah, two O linemen this weekend.
And I don't even think they're like pressed about any other linemen. Maybe I think is it like one other guy out there? Maybe.
I know there's the one kid in he's actually I think the number one kid in the country.
I
think he's out of California. No,
I thought he was going to USC or something.
No, he's not committed right now, and he's got Florida State in like his top 5. It's probably the only guy. It's not a very good offensive line class as a whole. I think that's the only guy they really care about.
And I wouldn't count Atkins out of that. So,
and they might spin a block on the kid that committed to USC though from Clearwater.
Oh, okay.
I'm not positive that recruitment's done. So we'll see what happens with that. But appreciate you, John. Good night. Go Noles. Yeah, Baker. That's his name.
Okay. I was watching. Actually, my brother was watching it, and he left it on, and I finished watching it. That the Gators versus Oklahoma game for the national championship with Tim Tebow. That was supposed to be, I think, their greatest team ever, right?
The Gators' greatest team ever?
I think so. That was supposed to be the team, or was it the one with Leak that was the greatest team they ever had?
I think it's the 09 team they count as their greatest team ever. The team that lost to Ole Miss, I think, is the team that they count as their greatest team ever.
Yeah, ain't no way that team beats either the 2013 Florida State team or the 2001 UM team.
Bro, you don't lose to Ole Miss and then come talk about greatest team ever.
I watched them and it was terrible football.
They had speed, but
he couldn't get Percy the ball anywhere past.
2013 could
everything I saw go to Percy was in the backfield, I think.
2013 could lock all of that up.
And then Aaron Hernandez was good, but the receivers, Nelson and Cooper.
Yeah, they wasn't. PJ and Darby locking that up.
Like literally we could play 9 in the box, bro.
Yeah, PJ and Darby locking that up.
But I watched that and I was just like,
Ramsey and Joyner got Hernandez on lock. I mean, I'm not worried about that team.
yeah, that was just on my mind, man. I saw that game. I sat there and watched that game and I was like, damn, they're terrible. For an all-time great team,
James gonna throw for 300 plus on that team.
Lighten them up. Because on defense, I ain't see nothing. Mind you, they did do a good job against AP. Was that AP or Sam Bradford and whoever he had?
Yeah, but Sam Bradford wasn't. Adrian Peterson was gone by then.
Yeah, it was. I'm talking about Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford, okay. Sam Bradford. I know he won a Heisman. He wasn't Jameis. I don't care what nobody say. He wasn't Jameis.
But I was like, Jesus, that was crazy. Because even that Oklahoma team looked terrible.
They sure did. Especially in that national championship game. Oklahoma didn't look good at all.
And they didn't get blown out. They didn't get blown out either. It was just lost by attrition, basically. Just a couple fourth down stops. It was 7-7 at the half. Just terrible to watch. Makes me think, did I actually watch that live? Because, like, I doubt I did. Like, I think I'd have turned it off. Yeah, I saw him make a couple plays.
It wouldn't really be a. I don't know. I know they like to think that's their all-time great team, but
I mean, if it is,
right, there's levels to this, as we say.
I can name a couple of FSU teams that would be.
But
the 2014 team is beating them.
The 99 team is smashing that team.
Yeah.
With Peter Warwick and Dugans and them, like they smashing that team. So I don't know. Let the Gators have their team. It's on the low end compared to the other great teams.
I agree. I just see them throw that team into those tournaments sometimes, and I'm just like,
it's because people have the love affair with Tim Tebow. It just is what it is.
Should have lost Ole Miss.
And Tim Tebow, he was a good college player. Don't get me wrong. But he was just that, a good college player.
He did beat
And when Demps, and you have Demps and Harvin and Rainey all around, just speed on top of speed and all your skill positions. I mean, of course you can do some stuff.
Yeah.
Here's my problem with that. Man, that team wasn't that, bro. Menzel just threw it to Mike Evans.
That's it. That's all. I don't think Baker was all that good either.
And here's the beautiful thing about that matchup. Florida State has their own Mike Evans on that team. So FSU would have been accustomed to guarding a receiver like that.
Do you think Johnny Wilson is more like Mike Evans than he is Kelvin Benjamin?
I think both of them are better athletes than Johnny.
God damn.
Yeah, it's not a knock on Johnny. He's just not. What KB ran? What did KB ran a 4.5, right?
4.6. He ran 4.6.
Benjamin ran a 4.6.
Maybe
I think Benjamin ran a 4.5 for the combine. I think, and Mike Evans ran like a 4.4, 4.5, right? I don't think Johnny.
Kelvin ran a 4.6.
Ran a 4.6. I don't think Johnny's running a 4.6.
Now, mind you, he said he purposely ran slow. Kelvin.
I don't think Johnny's running that.
Really?
I don't. I think Johnny's like a 4.7
That's
guy.
Tough.
I just you don't have the top end speed, but he's got the same type of body control. All that other, maybe all the other traits, even the inconsistent hands like Kelvin Benjamin. I just don't think he has the top end speed though.
I mean,
you think 2013 beats 99?
Yeah. Yeah.
You think so?
I think just offensive line wise,
I think that D line versus that O line. I think
that's a good
99 D line. That's Corey Simon. That's Darnell Dockett. Come on, man. I don't know.
I think they got the best chance of standing up. I think compared to the O line in '99, standing up to the D line from 2013, that's a problem. Not to mention, just the secondary is about as good as it's going to get to match up with the wide receiver core.
You think Johnny running a 4.5? I want you to go watch Johnny in the open field and tell me he's running a 4. Yeah, and tell me he's running a 4.5. Johnny's not running down in the open field. Not running a 4.5, bro.
But at the same time, you seen Kelvin get ran in too.
Yeah, Kelvin ran a
4.6. breaking tackles.
Yeah, Kelvin ran a 4.6, so that just proves my point. That Johnny's not running no 4.5.
I think he might train. I think he might train it out and eke out a 4.5.
The Reggie Bush USC teams versus 2013 FSU. Those are solid matchups. Because those USC teams had a lot of
they had receivers too.
Playmakers, yeah. I was about to say they had a lot of playmakers.
Yeah.
And they had some guys on that defense.
I feel like we've historically struggled against teams with great tight ends, though. I don't think it's been the great wide receivers. It's been running quarterbacks and tight ends that eat us alive. Like that we struggle to, like they just end up fucking open for some reason.
Like I said, go watch Johnny Wilson in the open field. And y'all see 4.5, I see 4.7.
So what does that do to him as a draft prospect, though?
Well,
that sounds like third or fourth round guy.
Well, no, because he's 6'7", 230. So remember Funchess? Like he's still a matchup nightmare.
So
he's just not.
I know Funchess very well.
He's just not taking the top. Yeah, he's just not taking the top off of anything.
What did Funchess run? Funchess had a good time.
I don't know. 4.6 or 4.5, somewhere around there too. What does Verse have to do to pass Jermaine? He's got
Funchess ran a 4.48, bro.
Oh, he did. Oh, wow. That didn't translate. But
that's wild.
To answer Briley's question, he has to take over games like Jermaine did. Take everything out that Jermaine did in his FSU career. There's 2 games that pop out. You don't have to think about them. You just know the 2 games that Jermaine Johnson pop out, that he took over games. Clemson, Miami, period. Those are the 2 games where he single-handedly dominated.
I feel like Burst introduced himself very well and had a huge impact. I wouldn't say he dominated it.
Burst did a great job against LSU. Yes, he did. He did a great job against LSU. But Jermaine single-handedly, dominated.
He
didn't beat Clemson, but hell, he did everything. If we could have got a field goal, Jermaine Johnson literally put the team as a defensive end, put the team on his back against Clemson. Sacks, scoop and score, he did all of that. Against Miami, he made. I've never seen a tackle do a 360. I've never seen a defensive end do that to a tackle before. If Verse has to do something like that,
you gotta see him do it against Clemson, though, huh? It has to be that kind of.
Oh, LSU, Clemson. Hell, just single-handedly dominate Miami or Florida. All
right. I think we got to see a lot more from our offense that may have taken away from his impact on games. Meaning the games where, there were some outstanding offensive plays that had a bigger impact than his play. Whereas with Jermaine, our offense was stagnant. A lot was missing. So maybe that has an impact on that.
Well, here's the thing about this point. Jermaine was only here for a year. And Versus about to be here for at least 2 years. And yes, Versus said nothing but great things about Florida State, but Jermaine was on here for a year. I think people love Jermaine though, because that in that one year, he was
Jermaine.
he reminded us of the Brian Burns. He reminded us of the great defensive ends we have had.
Like we supposed to have this guy type,
Right,
type
like
of guy, yeah.
we're supposed to have Jermaine Johnson's at Florida State. So,
and I'm glad we're starting to get like that. I was a bit worried that we were gonna get caught up in having guys transferred in, but I'm glad we're also having guys like Patrick Payton develop, and like I don't mind going out and grabbing a guy or two that's gonna be an impact player on the team. Like it's obviously a way that we can produce and win.
It's a healthy mix.
Yeah, but I still want to see that mix, and I guess this class is kind of showing that they can recruit the high school level.
I mean, offensively, we're killing it. It's the defense that is like
it's worrisome. The front seven is worrisome.
Yep.
It's worrisome on what's going on the front seven. I looked at it today. I was like, damn, like, can we get another linebacker or two? Like,
I don't think I don't think there's no other linebackers on the board. That's the problem.
Is this considered a good linebacker class?
The only board they got some solid, but it's not a bad one at all. The only board on defense that is solid is the DB board. They got option after option in the DB.
Yeah, but that's not for the. That ain't gonna cut it. Like
defensive tackles, nothing. Defensive ends, nothing. Linebackers, nothing.
You got DD.
Yeah, we got. I'm saying.
I feel like that's where
D.D.
we're so
Holmes.
reliant on the portal right now that I'm a little worried. We've been relying on the portal the past couple of years in the front seven. To be honest, getting Bethune to come in was definitely a good big impact. And like, unless we got another guy like that we eyeing that might be coming in, I'm worried. Unless you hope Baby Luke develops.
I don't look. I actually like our linebacking. I like Omar Graham. I like Blake Nicholson. I'm interested to see what Brian Courtney gives me. I don't know, but I'm interested to see it.
That's an interesting one. Like I hope he's a good athlete, but he looked like a good athlete against subpar athletes.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's looked like that same athlete in practice, and I think he had that one touchdown catch, right?
No, I don't think our front seven is bad at all. We're talking about recruiting wise.
I'm talking about the future,
right? And after this year,
the
Bethune and Deloach are gone. Fabian Lovett's gone. Brandon Fish is going to be gone. First is going to be gone. Mess around and let Pat have 10 sacks. He's gone. So
it's there's some concern there. You ain't gonna be able to reload a front seven in the portal like that. Like,
just got to recruit some of these guys. I like Lamont Green Jr., but you got to get some weight on him. Might take him a year or two to get there.
Better hope Marvin Jones Jr. hit the.
I've been hoping that.
Hey, just sit there in the hope train. Hey, you ready to come play now? Like, guaranteed starter. They like he gonna get that Jermaine treatment. He walked through the door. Like, yeah, it's your spot. Because I don't know if we lose both Verse and him. It's like, yeah. I mean, Evans is a junior.
Who?
Gilbert.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I still got to see I still got to see what he bringing to the table though.
Jaden Jones is a sophomore, a redshirt sophomore, right?
Got to see what he bringing to the table. Yeah, you got
Don't know what they're gonna
Tafasi.
do.
Cool. Tafasi is one defensive tackle. We got Daniel Lyons. That's two. Name another one.
Don't know.
Because Briggs is gone. I think Malcolm Ray's gone. You don't. Do you trust Joshua Farmer to come back?
To do what?
To come back.
No.
Me neither.
What's did Darryl Jackson's waiver happen?
His waiver still ain't been approved.
Shoot, he might go.
So, like at this point, what are we like?
We could be sitting there with like 2 D tackles, asking offensive linemen to switch positions.
Yeah,
we got to start Tafasi next year. We got a problem, bro.
I have no problem with him being in the rotation, but I'm with you. He shouldn't be like a starter next year. But it remains to be seen how good he is. I don't know.
Man, child.
Offensively, I'm not worried, believe it or not.
At any position. Quarterback's actually in decent hands.
Quarterback's the only position, and it's not that I'm worried, but you got to see who emerges.
Yeah.
The running back room's going to be loaded, bro. You bringing in Cam Davis, and you got bringing in Danzy with Rodney, with Singletary, man. Backfield going to be. We keep forgetting about Keziah Holmes. I keep forgetting about Keziah Holmes. He's still on the like.
He's still there too.
I'm worried about the running back room.
Is Luke gonna early enroll? Has he talked about that?
I'm not sure. I know he goes to like a military school, so I don't know.
A possibility there.
So I don't know, like at St. Thomas Aquinas, you can't early enroll because of the school, the way that high school works. None of those kids at St. Thomas that go to St. Thomas ever early enroll. I don't know if that military. I just know he goes to like a military school. I'm hoping he can early enroll for sure.
What's up, Todd? Well, that'll add a nice little wrinkle to that room too. I mean, if he gets in there and gets to play spring and he shows something, and they're like, maybe he doesn't win the job, but he gets that look of like, all right, well, maybe the offense isn't doing what we need to do now. Not that we're losing games, but the offense isn't, popping. All right, let's try the kid. Like
he's going to deploy. No, he's not going to deploy, but
what?
He's a military school. That doesn't mean he's in the military, but
yeah.
The only reason I only bring that up because I don't know the rules. He might not be able to early enroll, depending on I don't know how that school.
What their graduation situation is.
Right. That's the only reason why I bring that up. What's up, Chant 99? So if Luke said he's going to early enroll, then he should be good there. No reason why he won't.
Said now you're looking at Tate, Duffy, and him in that room.
Brock Glenn.
Oh crap!
Yeah, that room's loaded.
Completely forgot about him. I literally forgot about him, completely.
Even if you go to the Army or Navy or the Air Force universities, you still don't deploy. You're still not an active duty.
They're
military. They're cadets.
They're
cadets. They're not in the Army. They're not in the armed services yet.
Yeah. Like once you finish at the academy.
Yes. Then you're a commissioned officer. Yeah. But yeah, I think offensively, man, we're gonna be great even after next year.
We're in great hands.
Because even after Johnny and the boys leave, you still got Hakeem and everybody else. So.
We good, and they loving Vandrevius.
They love Jacobs, and believe it or not, they saying Dustin Hill looked the part.
Oh yeah, He definitely looks it. It's a grown man. He hit him 3 years.
That boy 30-year-old man out there. He should look fine.
Hey, he look grown out there. I'm like, hold up, boy, that ain't no regular freshman walking on campus, boy.
Them 18-year-old, them are lies. That boy is not 18. That boy is 28, bro.
Boy came out there grown. Boy, looked like he had played a couple CFL snaps or something.
I'm gonna let it answer that question.
I see a national championship in Mike Norvell. I see a national championship in this team. So that means I see one of him.
And not until that defensive recruitment pickup, I don't know if I see a national championship. We've seen teams offensively win a lot of games. I mean, Oklahoma under Lincoln Riley, USC under Lincoln Riley. If we don't start recruiting the defensive caliber players that we're used to recruiting, we're not. Georgia's not back-to-back national championships by a fluke. Look at their defensive recruiting. And then go look at the draft and look at the defensive players that's getting drafted. It's not a fluke.
It's loaded on defense.
If we don't pick up the defensive recruiting, no, I don't see it. That man say, man, Desmond Hill is 29, bro.
Bruh, Desmond Hill he graduated 4 years after me.
Bro, I'm trying, bro. How he went missing for 3 years after his recruitment and he only 19. The math ain't mathing, bro.
What are we talking about right now? Like, he got a bare minimum, he got to be 22 years old.
The math ain't mathing, bro.
He got to be like 22. I still want to hear the story about what really happened, bro.
You know what?
Are we ever going to get a story?
If he is good enough to go to the NFL, you may. NFL put every.
Have to hear it.
NFL put everybody business out on draft day, so you'll hear it.
Yeah, you find out everything. It's just this in this day and age. This dude just disappeared off the face of the map, where we didn't even know if he was a real person. Like, nobody even was like, well, did we get catfish at recruiting him initially? Like, we literally thought that.
Was this Manti Te'o all over again? What happened?
They'd have to drop a 30 for 30 on that.
See, they keep saying.
Seriously, keep saying they 19, bro. Stop.
That man is 30, bro. Y'all gotta stop with the lies.
Yo, y'all serious?
That means he graduated at 16. I mean, maybe he did. I don't know.
It's happened. That defensive tackle went to the NFL at 19.
He graduated at 17. I mean, got it. Maybe he did. I don't know. They say he's 19.
So that means they gonna have to do a 30 for 30 on that, bro.
You know what they used to say too? When I played Pop Warner, they would say a kid was 8 and that motherfucker was really 13. Like, they did that notoriously in Pop Warner ball.
We was just talking about it. But I think they played Delray Rocks, bro. They ran out 105 for the 95 game. I was like,
yeah. They used to do that.
Y'all ain't the dudes that was weighing up with us, bro.
Notoriously in the C League, they tell you a kid 10 years old. This motherfucker 14 years old. So, it happens. How's your quad?
Fucking hurts.
You iced it?
I've iced it, heated it, put compression shorts on, like, for the most part, but yeah, bro, it's fucked. Hey, the kid, it was so funny. We was playing against these younger dudes. Motherfucker was like, "Oh, y'all slow anyway." So he got in my head, bro. He got in my head, made me kind of, try and turn it on.
This is coming. Listen, y'all. This is coming from the man that said he could get 10 yards. So there was like this thing on social media. It was like,
5 yards, 10 carries.
Yeah, could the average dude get 5 yards in the NFL on 10 carries? And this dude swear he can get it. This is the same dude that just blew his quad playing kickball. But he can get 5.
I am not the average size nigga, bro. Like,
Bro, you just blew your quad playing kickball. What's gonna happen?
If like I said, if I'm healthy and prepared for it, yeah, I'm getting that 5 yards. Give me my 10 mil.
Bro, you gonna go? They're gonna call a dive.
I want that power.
Yeah, the power eye through what the two gap.
Let's go.
And you gonna get blown the fuck.
They gonna have to hit me. Hey, the same way they I gotta hit them, and they gonna hit me. They gonna have to feel me too, bro. Like I'm not a little dude.
This man just blew his quad playing kickball, but he gonna run on Aaron Donald.
See, y'all talking about Aaron Donald, bro. Like
okay,
we putting an all-star defensive line out there.
I don't care what defense.
Are we putting Aaron Donald, freaking Chris Jones, and like fucking J.J. Watt and T.J. Watt out there?
Derek Nandi.
Derek gotta see me.
He gonna see you, all right?
Derek gotta see me, man.
He gonna see your MCL, your ACL, your labrum. He gonna see all of that.
I get 5 yards. I get 5 yards.
You're gonna get killed.
And Adrian's talking. Adrian's like 5'8".
I'm 5'10". I'm 5'10". Put respect on my name.
Okay, he's 5'10".
I'm an average size human being. That's fine.
Okay.
I know I'm not blowing my quad playing kickball.
Bro, you're not beating me in a foot race.
Okay.
You're not gonna beat me in a race.
Okay.
And we can figure that out next time I see you. Like
ice your quad and we can figure it out.
Like I'll do that. We put and post it on here. Okay. Somebody did just ask when I'm gonna smoke a gator again. I want to do a bigger one now.
I said, how you blow your quad playing kickball?
If you ain't never played kickball before, just say that. Like nah, I was actually running. I was sprinting.
Hold on. I'm probably not going to that Orlando game. The closer it gets to it, I just paid for another trip, so that game's probably not gonna happen.
Yeah, too many people get married for me.
I'll be going live though, but I'm going to Jamaica.
Oh, going to Jamaica.
So, yeah, so Jamaica, Orlando, easy pick. Easy pick.
Yeah, makes that real simple. Yeah,
I will trade you your blown quad muscle for the match.
No, thank you.
No, Todd. I'm glad you got over that, Todd. And I think you had heart surgery, right? Yeah.
Nah.
But we can't trade that out, Todd. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I got this little baby in here.
Tony, you gonna be there? See, y'all should have came to the LSU game, y'all should have came to the bowl game against Oklahoma. I was out there.
We going to the national championship though.
I might. It's in Houston this year.
Yeah.
If we make that, I might legit find my way out there.
Got to. Ain't it?
I probably won't buy no tickets though, because them tickets gonna be stupid.
I'm gonna find a way. To get in there.
I'll at least be in Houston for it.
At least go out there and tailgate. Take in the festivities.
Watch the game at a bar or something. I'll at least do that. Them tickets gonna be
insane.
600 on the cheap
FSU
side.
versus UGA. Oh yeah.
I might go to the Miami game in November.
That's been what date is that? November what?
That's November 11th, I believe.
So that's in our wheelhouse because I'm gonna be in South Florida from the 2nd to the 5th, 2nd to the 6th, and then we're supposed to be spending that month in like South Georgia. So I'm gonna be in Valdosta.
Oh, you'll be right down the road then.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be in Valdosta that week as well. Like we probably gonna be away from home for like a month.
Okay.
Like just traveling, seeing family. Got a great great grandmother who's 98, 97. Got to bring my baby over there to see her.
Yeah, I hear that.
Get them generational photos. Them boys got about talking about putting 100 on you, boy. Hey,
It's good. It's good money. Easy money.
hey, I like that.
Terrell says I'm trying to make plans with my boys dropping like flies. Anytime you try to make plans,
It's like that, bro.
it's like that.
Me
Everybody,
and we done talked about it. We can't figure it out. So.
everybody be down to go till it's time to go. And then I don't know.
Deposits.
And then Terrell, I know you in college, so that's even worse. Like, I mean, it's different when people got families. You feel me? Like, but college. Terrence, sorry, bro, you ain't making it. Blown quad at kickball.
I don't think you know how big I am. You don't know how big I am, boy. I'm a lot bigger than you, and I'm still that confident in how fast I can run.
Okay, you are.
I'm talking about him. He's saying he's 6 feet and 200 pounds, 200 something.
Terrence is what?
I'm
6'4",
300 something.
Yeah, but that's not a good 300. That's why you blew that quad.
Okay.
You could
still move.
Get down to 250. You might have it. Then we might have. Then you might be talking about something.
Okay. Hey. I'll be healed up by September.
I hope so.
September, October.
I hope so.
Back to 100%. So.
It's July. I hope so.
It takes 8 to 12 weeks.
Don't you have to? I run almost daily.
He don't sprint.
No, I run miles, but you're right. I don't sprint.
I'm not arguing. He's in better shape than me.
And last time I did go through a full sprint, like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I blew my hamstring.
See, this man over here talking about me.
But I'm 35, and I was racing a 21-year-old, so it was a little different. I was racing a 21-year-old. One of my soldiers thought he could beat me, and I was giving him the business. But that hammy said, "Pop," and I said, "Oh!" and I pulled up.
Hey, boy.
Look, I'm washed. I can admit it. I'm not 25 no more. I'm old. I'm old.
We old. I am too. I damn well know. But it wasn't like I played my first time out there playing kickball. I just ran out there and pulled my quad. Been playing the past 6-7 weeks. You know,
right? And that's
out there. And
that's when I learned.
Trying to do a little bit too much.
That's when I learned, Vontae, that I am not 20 anymore. When that
I was in my 20s,
when that jit wanted to race, and I pulled my hamstring, and I couldn't even sit in my car, I was like, "Oh God." Yeah, I had to hang up the Nikes, bro. I don't even race no more. I just jog my miles and go about my day.
Yeah. Nah, it's funny because I had them race some of these kids and won that day, and then I did this. And, yep, nope.
He said,
go ahead, sit your ass down. Like, sit your ass down, boy. And then my daughter, like I told you earlier, she tried to climb over something. I tried to make a quick move to go after her. I was down bad. My dog over there consoling me. She came over, put her paw on my back to see if I was okay.
Oh.
It was freaking terrible.
I don't run full sprint. I ain't ran a full sprint in a minute. I ain't gonna lie about that.
I admit, like I tried. I was looking for that other gear, and it wasn't there. It was gone.
And it ain't gonna be there.
It was gone.
It's not gonna be there.
I was looking for it. It was like.
And when you think it's there, that's because that's your hamstring or your quad telling you I'm about to give up.
It
Like, oh no, I got another gear. Yeah, you got another gear, and then that's what's gonna happen.
Like it was a thunder in my thought. Like it just, I was like, oh, ran through the base. Was like, yeah, I need a pinch runner.
So
this ain't gonna happen.
And that's just age and the military.
Ty got the right idea. Jacuzzis. Found youth.
Put all that stress on my joints.
Ice baths too. Ice baths. I don't know.
I heard ice baths are really good for you.
Yeah, it's just do it a few minutes.
Yeah, I haven't done it, but
I heard a nice ice bath get you right, especially after a good workout.
That's what I heard too. Which makes sense why all the athletes do them.
Yeah. Yeah, things we didn't know. I think that's the biggest difference about athletes nowadays compared to back then. The athletes now take such great care of their bodies. It's insane.
You know, but isn't it insane that the athletes in the back in the days didn't do all of this stuff and still was like crazy?
It made me think about Jerry Rice, Deion Sanders,
right?
And guys like that, just who were, but
Bo Jackson.
Their bodies are paying for it now.
Yeah, Deion's hurting now, bro.
Like a lot of those guys, their bodies.
I think Bo's still in pretty good shape though, but
yeah, but Bo's freaking.
It was just crazy, like
I remember hearing about Herschel Walker as a kid. When I know he's whatever right now, but dude never touched weights. Just sit-ups and push-ups. That's all he ever did. And was just ripped. Was a beast. Like, it never would touch, wasn't in the weight room at all. So, but.
And that's the thing, like, they say LeBron spends like millions of dollars on his like nutrition and conditioning. Bruh he still misses 30 games a season.
I would say this. I think he just missed it because he's tired of playing.
I agree.
Wait for the playoffs. I don't think he really be hurt.
I agree.
That's me.
I think he takes days off too. I agree.
And ain't nothing wrong with it. He's earned it, in my opinion.
I'm just saying. What about somebody like Anthony Davis? Like,
he's just tissue paper.
Like the athletes do take better care of themselves, but it's almost like they're hurt more too.
Not all of them do. Not all of them do,
but
because hell, what was old boy name?
Like Kawhi Leonard. I am tired of Kawhi Leonard. Like I don't even know how Kawhi Leonard isn't like a disabled vet or something.
Like thinking about like guys that kind of throwback still though. If you look at how Marshawn Lynch played and his like taking care of himself. Dude was saying, "Oh, I used to take a couple shots of Henny for the game. Like I used to
eat bowls of Skittles." Yeah, like Lamar Odom was like that, where he just ate nothing but candy
and snorted cocaine apparently, like
and did crack.
Did crack like and played games. It was hooping, just
hooping and doing crack, crazy
out here running point center like dude was
Lawrence Taylor doing crack. Like,
oh yeah,
Michael Irvin.
He did cocaine.
Yeah, Michael Irvin, Lawrence Taylor, cocaine heads.
There's a difference. This is a subtle difference there.
Dude's wild, man. It was wild. These boys today can't eat a hamburger without missing 2 games. Like, what's going on here? Yeah.
Acid reflux.
Missing games for heartburn. Like, what? All this money y'all getting, but that has a part to do with it too. They get paid these crazy salaries.
They gotta make sure.
They gotta make sure they're available when it matters. And 2, like Marvin Hagler said, it's when you sleep on silk sheets, it's not the same.
When you sleep on silk sheets,
the hunger is not there. That's what happened to your boy Keith Thurman. Reading about old baseball players is hilarious. They'll be working in the steel. Yeah,
Oh
man.
yeah.
They was wild back in the day. Like bros had regular. Bro was a plumber, and then he show up to the garden and play for 40 minutes. Like, what?
Hey, hold on. No, and I don't want to disparage anybody's service in the military, but they talk about Ted Williams going away and fighting in the war, and then coming back and playing ball. But my understanding, Ted Williams never saw the front lines out there.
So
Like,
they did the same thing with Joe Louis. Joe Louis went to the army, I think World War II, but he didn't actually like do anything
out there.
Yeah.
He wasn't out there, front lines.
Because he was a boxer. He didn't do any of that.
Ted Williams did not see no action, bro.
They've done that before. They told they did the same. They tried to do the same thing with Ali, where they told him, "You're gonna go to Vietnam, but we're not gonna put you out there. You're gonna do the same thing Joe Louis did." Ali stood for what he believed in, but
which I felt, he should have done. If that's what he believed in, that's what he should do. He's not he was a martyr
to some degree.
You know why I'm laughing? From earlier today with your boy.
I'm lost. What you talking about?
Dirk. About Kyrie.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean those it's still like the things that you're not gonna find guys doing that no more.
No.
You heard the Pat Bev story though?
It's too Pat Tillman?
No, the Pat Bev story about how he got into the NBA. About how he had to pay his buyout.
I heard him talking about it before.
That's weird as hell. $1 million buyout, $1.2 million to go play in the NBA. Like, how much were you getting paid to play overseas? Like, that you had that high of a buyout? Did he have to buy out the whole contract? Like, what?
If the whole contract was $1 million, then he didn't have to pay that much.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, what? Like, that's insane. That's a lot of freaking money.
Well, some people, like Tracy McGrady, they went overseas and became like superstars. Like Tracy McGrady is bigger in China than he ever was here, and I'm a Tracy McGrady fan. But he's like the man in China.
And it helped that he played with Yao,
right,
during that time, and that's why when he went to China, it was just like, here, take all this money. If he was doing that now, he'd get $100 million contract.
T-Mac was one.
Stephen Marbury.
Marbury. Starbury went over there too. And
he's a Hall of Fame. And I said that he belongs in a Hall of Fame because of what he did there as well. Because if you're talking about Yao being in the Hall of Fame, and we're putting guys that are international players that came over to the NBA, he did it in reverse. And he went over there. He balled out, won championships, won MVPs, and like had a cult-like following out there.
I don't disagree. That's the problem with the NBA, or that's the problem with the Basketball Hall of Fame. Is it's the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA Hall of Fame. So when people be saying like this dude shouldn't be a Hall of Famer, well, Basketball Hall of Fame starts like college. So there's the reason why. There's a reason why almost everybody makes the Hall of Fame in basketball.
But I think he did enough, like career wise. Like, he didn't do a lot with the Knicks. There was a little stint where it was.
No, he was better when he was in Minnesota and Phoenix. He was in Phoenix too, right?
Yeah.
He was in Minnesota and Phoenix. He was better than. I mean, the Knicks.
He still balled out for y'all.
No, but we were in a functional franchise.
Shit show.
Yeah.
Like y'all tried to team him up with Steve Francis and shit. I was like,
Isaiah Thomas was running the Knicks then. That's when we signed Eddie Curry to like $100 million at that time. And this was 20 years ago.
Tyler, I call bullshit. Sorry. I don't believe
Melo should
everything
be
the
in the Hall of
government
Fame.
tells me.
Yes, yes, Carmelo should be in the Hall of Fame. He's a national champion in college, and one of the best scorers of his generation. Yes,
He is a Hall of Famer. Tyler, I'm sorry. I just don't believe everything I get told in news clips from the government. Hit 3 times in combat. Crash landing. On his first minute. He did a crash landing on his first mission. Wow. That is a great story. That is a made for TV story, Tyler. I'm just saying.
so you don't believe?
Nah. I believe there are some real life made for TV stories. I don't think Ted Ted Williams or whatever went over there and did that. Flew 39 missions, 3 of which he was shot. His plane took damage and was shot. And one on his very first mission did a crash landing.
Yeah, Carmelo got a gold medal too. Good point. All of that stuff accounts for the Basketball Hall of Fame. Is my point.
Melo's a Hall of Fame.
Whereas like with the NFL, you're strictly judged by what you do in the NFL. The Canadian League don't count, right? Basketball is a broad sport in that sense. That's why people are in the Basketball Hall of Fame that you're like, how?
Tyler, I'm saying I don't believe any of that's true. I hear you, and I understand. I'm literally telling you I don't believe any of that was true. Sorry. But
who's in the Basketball Hall of Fame that you're like shouldn't be like Bill Walton?
Well, he won an MVP and two.
Walton's career was like what, 3 years long?
Yeah.
It's like the football equivalent of a Terrell Davis.
Like Terrell Davis being in the Hall, it's just like.
Yeah, for me, I agree with that.
Like I guess
I don't think Terrell Davis. I don't think he should be in the Hall, but
is Bo in?
I think Bo Jackson. Yeah, Bo Jackson's a Hall of Famer.
I don't know if he should be.
Let me look that up. I think Bo Jackson's a Hall of Famer.
And I don't know if he should be. Bill Walton got a 6th man of the year, I think, with the Seahawks, not the Seahawks, goddamn, the Celtics.
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame in '98. He was inducted.
That's crazy. So Bill Walton has an MVP, a 6th man, and 2 championships, I think.
Oh no, he's not in the Hall of Fame. Take that back. He's not in the Baseball Hall of Fame.
It says, how did Bill Walton win MVP? And he got a. Bill Walton also has a.
No, he is in the Hall of Fame. '98. Yeah.
Does he have 2 national championships as well?
He didn't play baseball long enough. Terrell doesn't know who Bill Walton is. That's why he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame.
He won some games with the Blazers. Got them a national championship.
Walton shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, period. Terrell Davis shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame just because he had 2 good seasons. Even if they were incredible seasons, like Hall of Fame should be a mix of.
I mean, I think he got 2 national championships in college as well.
Who?
Bill
Terrell?
Walton.
Oh, Bill Walton. See, that again, that goes to the basketball thing and why.
Yeah. You can make I can understand Bill Walton making it. He got an MVP, a Sixth Man of the Year, a couple championships in both college
Well,
and
he shouldn't be a top 75 player.
he is not. Hell no. There's a lot of people they threw in that fucking list that I was like, get the fuck out of here, man.
I agree with that.
Like, just like dudes wouldn't fucking whatever.
I agree with that.
Bill Walton is a white guy.
Like Terrell Davis is literally in the Hall of Fame for a 3-year stretch.
It was a great 3 years, but
arguably 4. But that, I mean, from 95 to 98, he went for 1,000 yards. Like that first year is only 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. 96, he goes for 1,500 yards and 1,300 touchdowns. 1,700 yards, 15 touchdowns. Then he did the famous 2,000 yard season and 21 touchdowns. That's legit. Put him in the Hall of Fame.
Chris Johnson has had more yards. Wow.
Leitner probably is in the Hall of Fame. I don't know for sure, but his college will put him in. Christian Leitner. His college days probably put him in the Hall of Fame. Yeah, his college days going to put him in the Hall of Fame.
He might not be. I know he's in a because there is a college basketball Hall of Fame. He's in the FIBA Hall of Fame, the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame, and the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame. So yeah, but that's because he was on the Dream Team. I think that's why he's in the Hall of Fame. He's enshrined because of the Dream Team.
Leitner?
Yeah.
Don't surprise me. Leitner's one of the most overrated names. Like, if you follow basketball, you know who Christian Leitner is. But yeah, you can't tell me what he's ever done on a basketball court, especially in the NBA.
He caught that pass.
Yeah, in college. Hill. In college. In college.
Just like they hyped up Josh McRoberts and all those guys from Duke, and how they were always hyping those guys up, man. What about Joker?
Oh, he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Joker could retire today and be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I think that championship helped a lot.
His sheer numbers.
Yeah. I just hate the talk that he's like a GOAT center.
Shaq should have been on the Dream Team. The first Dream Team?
Over Leitner, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Isaiah should have been on the first Dream Team.
That was a whole other situation.
Yeah, I know. But
no,
yeah.
that's different. They just
Shaq was on the second Dream Team though.
Yeah, that's the center group for that second Dream Team was Hakeem, David Robinson, and Shaq. Get the fuck out of here. Get out.
Ewing was on the second team?
Was Ewing? Man, they might have had Ewing too.
I know Ewing was on the first team. The first Dream Team. Was he not on the second Dream Team?
I'm checking. No, it was like insane though. This the 96 team. David Robinson, Hakeem, Shaq. No, it wasn't no Ewing.
No Ewing.
But they had Barkley and Karl Malone.
Of course they had Barkley.
Reggie, Penny, Grant Hill, Gary Payton, Scottie Pippen.
96 Dream Team washes the first Dream Team. Washes. Bird couldn't even really play.
Yeah.
Because of his back. You had Magic, and you had Michael, and you had Scottie.
That's just that magic. It's that Michael.
Yeah, but
factor,
you got Michael on the second Dream Team, don't you?
No, you don't.
Oh, he had retired at that point, didn't he?
Yeah, he came back. Well, he had just started his comeback.
And you got Penny.
Now, mind you, they had Clyde Drexler, They
First
had,
dream team had Clyde.
and now you're replacing Ewan. You got Ewan and David Robinson going up against Shaq and Hakeem and David Robinson.
Right.
And
That's
then
what I'm
that
saying,
power
man.
forward, Karl Malone and Barkley are still there, but Christian Laettner. So basically, you're replacing Christian Laettner with Hakeem, with
With
Hakeem and
Shaq.
Shaq
With Shaq.
in the front court.
And you losing Mike, which is a big loss, but
you getting a
young
prime Grant Hill.
Prime Grant Hill and young Anthony Hardaway.
And Anthony was just coming off a finals appearance.
Bruh. Penny was that dude before the knees.
I don't think Penny's in the Hall of Fame, though.
Nah, unfortunately not.
Reggie's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, Reggie's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, Hakeem the Dream is...
Hakeem is the GOAT.
When it comes to
Are you
centers,
with your mammy?
He's one of the top 2, 3. One of the top 3.
One of the top 3, and he ain't third or second.
Hey, I
know everybody can have their opinion. I get it, but that was my guy.
It's Shaq, Hakeem, and Kareem for me. Those are the 3.
Yeah, and it's hard to keep Will out of that conversation, but yeah,
that's
what I'm seeing.
My problem with Will is just the competition at the time. Same thing with Bill Russell. Like, there's 10 teams, and
my thing is he did what he should do against competition like that.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
he was dropping 50 a game,
right?
50,
insane
30,
numbers.
And, he was doing my player numbers. He decided, hey, I'm going to lead the league in assists this year. He led the league in assists.
Kukoc is in the Hall of Fame just for the fact of he was the first international player that was really that dude.
Yeah. I think Arvidas was a little bit before him, no? Arvidas is in. I'm almost certain Arvidas Sabonis is in.
Yeah, Sabonis is in. So what's to say one player who you believe is a Hall of Famer right now, except now your choice is Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis don't pull the needle for me, bro. Guys that are playing right now, obviously LeBron, Steph, KD, those are the Hall of Famers.
Those are the ones that you know.
Davis, though. Anthony Davis, don't.
Russell Westbrook.
Westbrook's a Hall of Famer.
I don't want to hear nothing about.
No, he's a Hall of Famer.
He's a Hall of Famer.
Strictly from numbers, he's a Hall of Famer. Am I forgetting anybody?
Draymond's gonna sneak in.
Just for defense, Draymond to get in there, kind of like
defense. He got 2 Defensive Player of the Years.
Yeah, just for defense,
and he's a 4-time champion.
It's like Ben Wallace. To me, Ben Wallace ain't a Hall of Famer, but somehow he's in there. I don't get it.
Yeah,
but
Ben Wallace making it was ridiculous.
Ben Wallace wasn't the. Ben Wallace might have been the 4th best player on that team.
He was a 3-time.
Ben Wallace wasn't even the 4th. Yeah, but Chauncey Billups is a better basketball player than Ben Wallace.
Rasheed
Wallace was a better all-around player.
Tayshaun.
That's what I'm saying. Ben, whatever. I don't know how Ben Wallace is in the Hall of Fame.
But who else? And nobody else from that team is going to make it in there.
No.
Rip's not making it.
Which is ridiculous.
She's not. She's definitely not making it.
No, but they were all better than him. It's wild. Yes, Harden's a Hall of Famer. Yes.
Harden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just put the offensive numbers. I think Harden was the first player to put up just an insane stat line. I forget.
Yeah, he was averaging 36 points per game with almost double-digit assists. He was averaging an insane double-double. I think didn't he average 35, 36?
Somewhere around there.
So, I'm trying to think of a player nobody was going to think of that I say is going to. I don't know if Dame makes it. Dame's not a Hall of Famer right now to me.
Yeah, I don't think Dame's a Hall of Famer. Kyrie
I don't think Paul George is either.
I don't think Paul George is. I don't think Kyrie is. Now, they might give it to Kyrie because of that years with LeBron, but I don't think Kyrie's a Hall of Famer.
Kawhi is because he won a championship with 2 different teams. I think that year in Toronto put him in the Hall of Fame.
You think so?
Yeah, you won championship. You won Finals MVP, 2 different teams. Like you were that guy twice when it came down to it. 2 playoff runs like that, 2 different teams. You're in the Hall of Fame.
In my Hall of Fame, Kawhi's not in it. You can't play 20 games a year and be in the Hall of Fame, bro.
Bill Wall's in. He's in.
Clay's in there.
Clay's in.
Clay's in.
Clay's one of the top 5 shooters of all time. He's in.
D Rose isn't in.
No, D Rose, no. Jimmy Butler.
If you stack Jimmy's numbers up, probably with some other 2 guards, you can make an argument for Jimmy. Probably.
2 finals runs.
Problem with Jimmy's going to be is no hardware, no awards. He has no regular season accomplishments. Like he has no MVP. He has nothing. No individual accolades for Jimmy. That would make me say that Jimmy probably not going to make it.
Doesn't Kawhi have a defensive player of the year too?
Does he? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he has a defensive player of the year too.
Who had a better prime, Grant Hill or T-Mac? Ooh.
It's tough.
Ooh.
Grant Hill probably had the better.
The 2 biggest what ifs right there.
Like, I'm a T-Mac guy. Like that's my guy.
No, but Grant Hill was on his way.
He was it.
Yeah, Grant Hill was it.
He was putting up LeBron type stat lines.
Yes. Like people call Pippen the best 3 of that era. It was Grant Hill.
It was Grant Hill.
It was Grant Hill easily. Yes, Chris Paul would be in there. Even without the no ring, Chris Paul would probably make the Hall of Fame. Yeah, Chris Paul would make the Hall of Fame.
Why?
For the longevity, he's gonna have.
Okay.
He's gonna have.
He's been a top 5 point guard for like 15 years.
He's gonna have longevity. He's gonna have the assist numbers. Yeah, Chris Paul will be in. Even if you don't think, whatever, but Chris Paul will be in there. No, T-Mac was a better pure scorer, but I would argue Grant Hill was a better overall player.
Chris Paul got a chance to get a ring still.
Yeah, he's playing in Golden State this year.
Is he gonna be a 6th man? How is that?
I don't know how that
works, bro.
He's got to come.
What the hell is going on?
He's gonna have to come off the bench.
I thought this was just like trade bait. Like, all right, let's hold on to this guy. Somebody's gonna need him, and they'll give us something of substantial. You know who I want to see Golden State go grab? I want to see them go get Bol, bro.
He's still a free agent?
I think so. He's sitting out there.
What team I think they said was trying to get him? I forget.
A couple, man, but he fit great with them. He can shoot a 3. He gets blocks. He can defend the paint. Now he ain't gonna guard Jokic, but at the end of the day, somebody want to stop Jokic, they better go get Dwight Howard.
Underrated player, Steve Francis.
No, I don't see him as underrated. He's properly rated.
One of my favorite underrated players, and he got cut short because of his injuries, was Brandon Roy.
Brandon Roy was a beast.
Yeah.
He was, I don't want to say Jamal Murray. He was,
I would say you could argue Brandon Roy was a bigger Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Donovan Mitchell was like what, 6'1" or something like that. Brandon Roy was legit 6'5".
6'3", 6'4".
And Brandon Roy was legit like 6'5".
Brandon Roy was a beast.
He was a legit two guard.
He was a D Wade of the West. That's
he
what
was
they
a
called
legit
him.
2 guard. So
He was D Wade of the West.
His knees killed him too. What about Embiid? Or does he need more stats? Embiid's on his way. It's too early for me to call Embiid right now.
He's likely to get in.
But he definitely has the numbers.
He's working on it.
Yeah.
He'll probably sneak in another MVP. He'll continue to put up good numbers. And I don't know if he wins a championship. Ja
Ja better put the blickies down.
Put the lighters down.
Yeah, put the blickies down, and maybe we can talk about his career.
Oh man.
I'm trying to think of some more underrated players. Especially from that era.
From that era?
Or this era, I guess. People just excellent underrated players. You know, a guy that was cold that no one talks about nowadays, that had the 3 ball before the 3 ball was like a thing? The damn Peja Stojakovic was a sniper before Steph Curry and them boys came along. People forget Peja for Sacramento, man. Peja used to kill it. I think Peja averaged like 28 points. He was in an MVP race one year, Peja was.
There go the number, the name.
Who?
Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson was a dog.
Was a bucket.
Yeah, Joe Johnson was a dog.
But Peja, yeah, you're right. Peja was he made those Sacramento teams like work. Because Chris Webber wasn't like giving you lots of buckets.
I hated Peja. Yeah, man, Peja was a bucket, man.
And then I hated the comparisons of Turkoglu to him.
No, Turkoglu wasn't
Turkoglu was not him. Like
no.
And what pissed me off is they try to give Turkoglu so much credit for those Orlando teams, but dude would go like 2 for 13 and hit the game winner, and they're like, "Oh my God, Hito Turkoglu." I hated watching that shit.
The player that killed y'all against LA was not having Jameer.
Well, no, it was bringing Jameer back.
But if you had him from the jump,
yeah. But I think.
But y'all tried to rush him back.
Yeah, I think if they just let Rafer play, we fine.
Baron Davis was.
And then of course Courtney Lee blowing that layup.
Hell, Jerry Stackhouse used to be a bucket. C Webb was a dog, absolutely.
Hey, that's his name, Baron Davis.
I'll take C Webb over Sean Kemp all day, any day.
Prime Sean Kemp?
I'm taking C Webb over Prime Sean Kemp all day, every day.
No. Prime Sean Kemp was giving you like it was Blake Griffin.
Yeah, just Blake Griffin. Okay, C Webb could do more.
I don't think it was that way. I think he had a mid range. Sean brought a mid range. He could handle the ball. Defensively, he was a lot better than Blake was. He was a good shot blocker.
Blake. I'm telling you, I take C Webb.
Well, he was better than C Webb defensively.
Gary Payton is a Hall of Famer, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, Payton's in the Hall of Fame. Tony Parker is, if he isn't, he should be.
No, Tony Parker Hall of Fame. He should be, even if he isn't, but he should be.
I think all 4 of them make it, right?
Sean Kemp was Zion.
All 3.
DeAndre Jordan, hell no.
No.
I would say Blake Griffin, hell no too, but he might have more.
Did he get a gold medal?
Blake might have more numbers in line with the Hall of Fame because he was a 20-plus scorer in his prime. DeAndre
You
Jordan,
let Dwight in?
Yes, Dwight Howard's in the Hall of Fame.
That's a no-brainer for me.
If Ben Wallace is in the Hall of Fame, then hell yes, Dwight Howard. He was just as good, if not better, in defense than Ben was.
And still was putting up.
And was still putting up offensive numbers.
People forget Dwight go out and put up 40 in a game 6 against LeBron.
Yes. If Ben Wallace is in the Hall of Fame, Dwight Howard is a Hall of Famer. Point blank, period.
Let's stop this myth that Chris Webber was a 3-point shooter. He was not.
He Webb can play, bro.
He was not a 3-point shooter. Like he hit a couple threes, but he wasn't. The people weren't scared.
You stop thinking about Sacramento C Webb and go to
Detroit.
No, see when C Webb played in what was
Washington,
it? Washington Bullets. Yeah.
Yeah, insane. We cooking, man.
All the major Spurs.
Darren Williams he looked like he was gonna be it.
My problem with Darren Williams is, yes, in his prime, he was damn good. He was one of the top 2 point guards in the league in his prime, but then he fell off a cliff.
Immediately. Like, I have no idea how that
People
happened.
forget it was Darren Williams and Chris Paul like this at one point.
They was arguing about who should have been drafted first between the two of them.
And CP3's still here, and this man Darren Williams ain't even in the league no more.
He fell off 10 years ago.
Bro, when he fell off, he fell off.
I don't know how that happened.
I think most Knicks fans will say Allen Houston. I liked it Sprewell more.
Sprewell was that dude.
Yes. Well, when we made
that was the one time I rooted for y'all, man. When Sprewell
was my guy.
When y'all played the Spurs in a championship, I was rooting for y'all, man.
I think most Knicks to say Allen Houston, but Sprewell was my guy.
Damn shame how Sprewell ended up out of the
Blake
league.
and Dwight aren't even in the same conversation, bro.
Dwight has led a team to the finals. He has been a competitive force and dominant force on both sides of the basketball with a lack of a skill set, as they said. Perkins is definitely not the Hall of Fame.
What is Blake Griffin without Chris Paul?
He had a good year with Detroit.
Okay. Like I said, what is Blake Griffin without Chris?
He was like top 7 in MVP voting that year with Detroit.
I don't know how you can call Dwight Howard a disappointment.
He's not, bro. Like his people forget he actually got hurt. His back injuries kind of derailed his career at a certain point when he was with LA.
They asked that question. I don't think Ray Jean's a Hall of Famer, but we had this conversation before, Terrence. He's a fringe guy for me.
He's fringe. Okay, I'll take that.
Ray Allen is definitely a Hall of Famer.
He's not in yet.
Don't let. I think he might even be in, but don't let Miami Ray Allen and Boston Ray Allen let y'all forget
Ray Allen was Jesus.
Yeah, forget who Jesus Shuttlesworth was, bro.
Jesus Shuttlesworth was the man.
Monte Ellis was a bucket. Perkins, hell no. Kendrick Perkins in the Hall of Fame. Are you lost, Terrell? What are you talking about?
Maybe it's another Perkins.
Yeah, what are you talking about? Another Perkins? No way you're talking Kendrick Perkins.
He said, "What? How? Please?" Because I said earlier, Perkins ain't in the Hall of Fame.
What? Maybe he has to be talking about another. He's not talking about Kendrick Perkins.
It's not, bro.
If he's talking about Kendrick Perkins, we're gonna end this. I promise you. I'm just gonna end this thing right here.
Oh, he talking about Rajon Rondo, not Hall of Fame for the Celtics. I
think it's fringe. I don't big assist guy, but here's the problem: how many points can you name? I mean, in this same time span, Steph Curry's playing. Chris Paul is
his
playing.
career averages are 9, 4.5, and 7.9.
That's Hall of Fame,
he's not cracking top
right
30 in assists, which is his thing. Like, I don't see how
he's talking Sam Perkins, bro.
What?
Was he?
Nah, he wasn't. He not talking Sam, bro.
He's got to be talking Sam Perkins. Because he can't be talking Kendrick.
Bro, I see they saying Sam, but nah. Sam not a Hall of Famer either.
No.
Just for argument's sake, I was
Sam Cassell's a no, but he's not Hall of Fame. And the live party over. I think it's about.
I was wrong.
About what?
I didn't realize I was that wrong.
About what?
Rajon Rondo's top 15 in assists.
I mean, he played 15 years. He averaged
I'm just surprised.
What you say? He averaged 7 assists a game and played 15 years. He's not a Hall of Famer to me, bro. He would have an argument if he averaged 10 assists for a career.
But I mean, let's put these things out there. Mo Cheeks, Lenny Wilkins.
And that's the problem. When you start comparing guys to guys that played 30 years ago, then because like Parrish is in the Hall of Fame. Well, by that standard, every center should be in the damn Hall of Fame, right?
Is Kevin Johnson in?
I don't think so.
Yeah, this list is a lot shorter than I thought it would be.
He's talking about Kendrick, dog. He said the Perkins that's on ESPN.
So it was nice.
So
thanks for having me on, my guy.
We go. This man's lost his mind, bro.
Yeah, I gotta get up early. Yeah, this is fun talk. We was last a lot longer than I thought it would. It's been great as always. Go Noles. Any who's the next commit? Who's the next guy to commit?
I think Lester's the next one we're waiting on.
Nobody before him, you don't think?
I don't think so.
No surprises.
I mean, we'll see. This stuff changes day by day. I didn't know. Jeremiah Smith said an official visit to Florida State. So, I mean, this stuff changes.
Who, what?
Yeah, he said an official visit to Florida State.
What? Stop.
I don't know if that means anything, but.
What? Stop.
We getting KJ market.
Hey man. Hey, tell Lavernius and P-Dub we need them on campus, man.
Like for Hakeem.
Yeah, we got. I need to pull some of what they did with Hakeem.
I think Solomon and KJ are in August. Lester's at the end of this month. So those are the big three names that we got left before the season, I think.
Speaking of Hakeem, yeah, you're right, bro. Nobody breaking that block record from Hakeem Olajuwon. Nobody breaking that. But yeah, it's been great. Let's get them guys on campus. Wait, when's that visit?
I think the end of the month. I think it's the day after Lester commits or something like that. The 29th or something. It's something like that.
Hey, tell Lester hang out for a little bit. Because he's going to be on campus, right?
FSU
we doing that event.
Because I think he's coming on campus the same day Luke is. I think him and Luke are going to link. Yeah, the 29th. I think Luke Cromahawk's going to be on campus that day,
Don't
too.
We have an event? We got an event going on that day. Like a major event.
Better be some D. Y'all better give up on that D-line, y'all.
Hey, look, we gonna take what we can get at this point. If we can flip Smith, then that'll be awesome. I'm not putting my eggs in the basket, but it's good that we get him on campus. Luke's trying to do some things, man. I like that.
Kendrick, hold up, man. Okay. With that said, y'all, they still talking about Kendrick Perkins, and I'm not having this crap. This is ridiculous. I've been on here for 3 hours, and y'all not gonna start talking about Kendrick Perkins in the Hall of Fame.
Hill, bro.
At least Dustin Hill showed up. But one thing I can guarantee you is Kendrick Perkins will never be in the Hall of Fame. I can guarantee you that.
What about as an announcer? I think that's
y'all have a great rest of y'all night.
Not the worst part of his career?
Yeah, he probably was a better defender and rebounder than he is an announcer.
I'll let y'all boys. Take it easy, man.
All right, bro. I'm about to get out here, too. Y'all have a good rest of y'all. Well, morning. Because it's almost 2 o'clock here in Central Texas. So,
yep.
All right, bro.
Take it easy.
Y'all have a good night. And as always, go over here on 863 Seminole TV. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. We are out here. Go Noles. Finna go to sleep. And no, Kendrick Perkins is not a Hall of Famer. Y'all have lost y'all minds. I'm out here.